Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So Hare Krishna. Okay. Welcome all of you. Today we will be discussing 19th chapter of the 11th canto. So 20th chapter is bit big, but 19th chapter, yes. Chapter is the perfection of spiritual knowledge. This we are going to study. It's having total 38, 45. 45 slokas. 45 slokas are there. 45. 45. Yeah. We'll try to finish. Let us see. Okay. Same thing. Whatever we discussed, that same diagram all the time. So we'll be getting that. With that diagram, it will be very easy. Same thing. You can see. Where is Ramakrishna? Ramakrishna didn't come. Ramakrishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, yesterday he mentioned that he will come late.
Acha, acha.
You also mentioned that.
Not today, Mataji. On Saturday, he told.
Okay. I thought today.
After 1 o'clock. Saturday, na? Saturday. Today, not today, Mataji. On Saturday.
Okay,
On
Prabhu.
Saturday, he will come late. Saturday, we'll be having class at 1 o'clock. That means tomorrow. Let us start. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yo Vidya Shruta Sampannaha Atmavannanumanikaha Maya Matramidam Gnatva Gnanam Chamai Sanyaset. Here actually in this sloka, diacritics wrong. Maya Matram is given. Maya Matram it should be. In Sanskrit, Maya Matram is written. So sloka is printed wrong. Maya Matramidam. In English, it is given rightly, diacritics.
Here it is Maya. Prabhu.
In English, it is Maya only written, but in the Devanagari font, it is written Maya.
Devanagari also Maya written.
Actually, where?
Database.
Veda base. But in the book.
Okay.
I mean, the book Maya Matram is given. Yeah.
The Supreme Person of Godhead said, a self-realized person who has cultivated scriptural knowledge up to the point of enlightenment and who is free from impersonal speculation, understanding the material universe to be simply illusion, should surrender unto me both that knowledge and the means by which he achieved it.
Yeah. First of all, this chapter is telling about Gnanadehe Nirnayaha Purvam Krutaha Hi Ashrama Dharmataha. So Atra Unvinshititame Gnanadehe Tyagaha Uchyate. So in the previous chapters, that means in 17 and 18, so what we have seen? So we discussed about the Gnana and so on. That means Vairagyam. These things were discussed. So those are all the practicing of the cultivating the Gnana. So and cultivating the Virakti, renouncement. For that there are the various duties they followed. So that kind of discussions we have seen in the previous chapters 17 and 18. Varnashrama Dharmataha. By using Varnashrama Dharma, how Gnana can be achieved, that we have seen. So especially cultivating the knowledge of self and cultivating the knowledge of Brahman by approaching the Guru. So various things we have seen. So in the Vanaprastha ashram, how they should cultivate the renouncement, and also in the Sannyasa ashram, so how should cultivate the renouncement. That means leaving the attachment for the material things. So that was discussed, and also already discussed. So the sannyasi, whoever is not having the knowledge about the proper ajignasitam, if he doesn't inquire about the Brahman, then he has to approach a guru and he should also inquire about the Brahman. So like this, so gnana, cultivation of gnana was discussed based upon through the varnashrama dharma. Now in this chapter, what we are going to discuss, atra unvimshatitame, that means in this 19th chapter, how to leave the gnana and so on. Gnana sadhana, gnanam and also gnana sadhanas. So both we are going to discuss in this. Gnanam is also should be at a certain point of time, so it has to be left over. So that we are going to discuss in this chapter. Okay, Sridhar Swami wrote like this. So next we'll see the explanation of this sloka. This sloka tadevam tarkataha. So बाधितः अपि देहादि प्रपंचः यावद् अपरोक्ष अनुभवेन दिग्मोहादिरिव न लीयते. Moha. Actually, dik sandhi is there, then ma is there, anuswar. So that's why ka will become it's our last one. Ding moha di riva naliyate. So tavat ज्ञानाभ्यासः ततः मुक्तिरि इत्युक्तम्. So आदेहान्तत् क्वचित् क्याति ततः संपद्यते मया इत्यादिना. यस्य तु अपरोक्षानुभवेन प्रपञ्चः लीनप्रायः तस्य न किञ्चित् कृत्यम् अस्ति इत्याह य इति. विद्या अनुभवः तत्पर्यन्तेन श्रुतेन सम्पन्नः एव आत्मवान् प्राप्तात्म तत्वतः न अनुमानिकः केवल परोक्ष ज्ञानवान् न भवति. अनकार पाठे. So what he is telling, so तर्कतः बाधितः अपि देहादि प्रपंचः यावद् अपरोक्षानुभवेन दिग्मोहादिरिव न लीयते तावत् ज्ञानाभ्यासः. So till the time if we don't get the direct realization of the Brahman, one has to practice the various gnana sadhanas. One has to practice the gnana. So that will be practiced till where? Till the mukti. So that means vidya anubhava tatparyantena shrutena sampanna eva atmavan. So whoever is getting the vidya, so vidya anubhava tatparyantena shrutena sampanna eva atmavan प्राप्त आत्म तत्वतः न अनुमानिकः केवल परोक्ष ज्ञानवान भवति. He will not simply so परोक्ष ज्ञानवान means who is given the knowledge. He is not a simply a knowledgeable person, but he will be so after getting the so direct knowledge he will leave that. Anyway, this is so much, it's not so much clear, but Vishwanath Thakur is writing very clearly. I am going to see that. Vishwanath. Same thing, it is explained in a very proper manner actually. Tadevam, so I am reading from Vishwanath Thakur. Tadevam अनाद्य विद्या दूरीकरणार्थम एव निष्काम कर्मयोग वैराग्यादीनि जीवस्य कर्तव्यत्वेन उक्तानि तैः साधनैः दूरीभूतायाम् अविद्यायां विद्यायां च उत्पन्नायां न तैः साधनैः कोऽप्युपयोगः यथा सर्पव्याघ्रभूताद्यविष्टः पुरुषः स्वं विस्मृत्य सर्पोऽहं भूतोऽहम् इत्येवं यावदात्मानं मन्यन्ते तावदेव मणिमन्त्राद्यौषादीनां प्रयोगः उपयुज्यते तत्तदावेशे तैः उपायैः उपशान्ते सति अमुकः अहम् अमुकस्य सपुत्रः इति स्वस्वभावे प्राप्ते सति न पुनः तैः मंत्रौषादिभिः कृत्यम् इत्याह. So what is said very clearly, he is explaining. We studied in the 9, 10, 11, 12 chapters. So various Nishkama Karma Yoga. That means doing the karma for the offering the results of karma for the detachment. So that thing we have seen. So that's practicing of, yes. So this section, in this section we have seen the Nishkama Karma Yoga. So in this Nishkama Karma Yoga and also practicing of renounce detachment, Vairagyam. How there is a practice of Vairagyam also we have studied in this. Vairagyidin Jivasya. This means, so for Jivatma, doing the Nishkama Karma Yoga, cultivating the Vairagyam, they are all as duties. As the duties of Jiva we have seen. Jiva. So Kartavyatya Nuktani Taihi Sadhan. That means Nishkama Karma Yoga or the Vairagyam, these are all what? Various sadhanas. So Duri Bhutayam. So by this what is happening? He is getting the detachment, and after that he is that means by practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga he is getting detachment. After that also he is following the Yama Nima and taking the shelter of the Guru, so Gnani Guru, and after that he is cultivating the various kinds of the Gnana sadhanas, and he is realizing the this Atma is, that means family, wife, children, everything is not real. They are all out of the so Maya. So like that he will be realizing so various so aspects. So that means by all these practicing Gnana sadhanas, what is happening? This Jivatmas avidya, yeah, is avidya nivritti. So Duri Bhutayam avidya. Avidya is removed. Then what is given is given to it? Vidya. Vidya is produced. So to produce Vidya, what we need? So he has to approach the Guru, and in the association of, that means Arinis, you all remember, I think. So, and studying the Shrutis, Tarka, and based upon that, so he is, yeah, getting the Vidya. So both removal of avidya and gaining of Vidya, both will happen. So then after that means by practicing the, so under the Guru, by practicing various Gnana sadhanas, so it is going to happen. So vidyayam cha utpanna na taihi. Once vidya is, अच्छा गिर गया, हैं? कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, वो तो माता जी है ना, माता जी देखने से क्या होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. वो तो हाँ. So once the vidya is produced, so then what will happen? Vidya cha utpanna na taihi. Once vidya is produced, then there is no need of practicing all these gnana sadhanas. There is no need to practice of all these gnana sadhanas. It's not like bhakti. Once that their work is done, so the result is achieved from by those sadhanas, then those sadhanas can be left over. Gnana sadhanaihi. So kopi upayoga. Kaha upayoga? What is use of these gnana sadhanas? So what is the use? There is no use. Once vidya is produced, these are all not used. So sarvamapi, like an example, this is example is given, like someone is there, X person is there. If he is attacked by the so sarpa, or otherwise vyagra means tiger. So vyagra bhuta, vyagra bhutadhyavishtaha means, so maybe sarpa vyagra bhutadi, that means he is attacked by, simply he is attacked by ghost. Let us take him, he is attacked by the ghost. So attacked by the ghost, then how will be? So vyagra bhuta javishta purush swayam vismritya sarpo, then he'll be think himself as I am this, I am snake, or I am the tiger. This goat, what kind of ghost is that? Sarpa type ghost or the vyagra type ghost is attacked him. So then when this ghost is attacked, then he will be calling himself as I am snake, sarpoham, or otherwise vyagroham, so bhutoham. So otherwise he is I am bhoot, my bhoot whom. So like this he will be. So when he simply you take ghost is attacked, then he will be thinking himself as bhutaha, bhutoham. So like this he will be identifying himself wrongly. Yavad atmanam manyante. So like this he is considering himself as bhuta instead of forgetting his real identity. Tavadeva prani mani mantra jaushadini. Then only till the time he identify himself as bhuta or the some so and so. So at that time, so he needs use of mani mantra. Mani mantra means then so mantrik will come and he will be applying mantras on him. So then what will happen after that? So various, then he will be coming out from this, he is released by this bhuta, this bhoot ghost, then he will be identifying himself as normal. So I am so and so son, like that. So then is there any need of these mani mantras? There is no need of these mani mantras. So prayoga. Similarly, when he is attacked by the ghost means he is attacked by the avidya. So when he practiced jnana sadhanas, so he got the vidya. That means he is identifying himself as now properly. I am soul. When he is attacked by the avidya, then he is identifying himself as body. So what use of the gnana sadhanas are needed till the time avidya is go away. Once avidya is gone away, so then no need of any practicing of gnana sadhanas. So that is what he is saying actually. So yavad atmanam अमुखस्य पुत्रः इति स्वस्वभावे प्राप्ते सति न पुनः तैः मंत्राद्योष. So that is said here. Vidya means Sankhya Yoga Tapo Vairagyamayam. Here in this Vidya is Yaha Vidya Srita Sampannaha. So Atmavan. So Yaha Vidya Srita Sampannaha Atmavan Na Anumanikaha. So here in this sloka Vidya means which is out of Sankhya Yoga, so tapas, vairagyam, and so on. So by all doing this, it is coming. That means under the guru, he is learning the so Sankhya philosophy and also doing the yoga and also doing the some other kinds of the so sadhanas, gnana sadhanas. By practicing all those sadhanas, this vidya is produced. This we have seen already. So Jnanam avidya nivartakam. This is what this vidya is, avidya nivartakam. Srutani means tattad pratipadaka shastrani taihi sampannaha. So this vidya is achieved also by the hearing the shastras. So that's why so to get the vidya, what we need? So tarka is needed, shrutis are needed, and also guru upadesha. These are all needed. Based upon vidya is produced, the same thing. Shruti sampannaha means shrutis and also gurus under gurus direction, learning the practicing the various sadhanas. So then what, that vidya is produced. Yes. So then Srutani tattadu pratipadaka shastrani taihi sampanna atayeva tattadu sadhana vashad atmavan. So by practicing all these sadhanas, so then atmavan prapta atma tattvataha. That means one who is getting the vidya means he is becoming now atmavan, means he is identifying himself as atmavan. So prapta atma tattvataha na anumanikaha. He will not anumanikaha. Anumanikaha means what you should take. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying kevala paroksha gnanavan. Kevala parokshavan. So this person atmavan, he is not simply only the identifying himself as soul. That much he should not be simply a knower of, that means himself as soul. He will not be simply as a knower of himself of what? I am soul. But bhavati kintu aparoksha anubhava sahita eva idam deha daihadika sarva vastushu swa abhimananam maya matra vidyam avidyakam eva gnatva yadva idam karaspadam jagat mayikam mayikatvad astirameva iti gnatva gnanam cha. So he will be not knowing himself as Atma, but he is further what he is saying. So Maya matram idam gnatva. Further he is also getting the, so kintu aparoksha anubhava sahita eva. So then he will be getting the aparoksha. He not only just getting the vidya knowledge, and also he is getting the experience of the self. So he is getting vidya and also experiencing his self. By vidya he knows he is not body and his self, but also so he is experiencing in further what? He is experiencing himself as the self. Then what he will be doing? So he will be also understand Maya matram idam. That means this whole universe is out of the Maya. So like that he is also knowing. So Maya matram avidyakam gnatva yadva idamakaraspadam jagat mayikam mayikatvad astiram. This is completely, this jagat is out of the Maya. So he is also knowing this. Finally what he will do? Gnatva gnanam cha. So that means he is finally gnanam, knowledge, gnana sadhanas. That means to get the knowledge. All these gnana sadhanas, both. So he will be leaving. So sanyaset mat praptyardam tejet. So mai sanyaset means to get him, to get the Krishna, he will leave all these two. That means to enter into the Brahman, what is the meaning? You see, to enter into the Brahman, ultimately this Jivatma with the avidya, with the vidya it is there. So then it is initially avidya is there, that is removed, and it get the vidya. It has to leave this vidya also, knowledge, and finally also the means to cultivate the vidya. So that is a gnana sadhanas. Those also he should leave. Then finally only Jivatma. With the, along with the little bhakti, so it is entering into to the bhakti. That bhakti will take care.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So he will give up the avidya through the by using the
Vidya.
Okay. Then at the end, Vidya and Bhakti will remain with him.
Yeah.
Okay. And now he has to give up the Vidya also.
Ah.
Only Bhakti and self will remain with him.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So what process he will use to give up the Vidya?
This is actually, if you see this Jivatma in the Brahmaji prayers, actually, Tathapi Bhuman, in that he explains this bhakti itself is taking care by the mercy of the Lord. So that means Esha Uparata Vaisharadi Vidya. So Uparata, this is also happening that bhakti will only take care. That little bhakti will take care. That's exactly.
So Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Ah.
Prabhuji, so if you are saying that he gets rid of the avidya because he takes the shelter of vidya, and he realizes that he is the soul, and he's also visualizing this, or rather he's experiencing this in the external world, comparing that the external world is what you call temporary.
Yes.
And he's also taking the practice of bhakti.
Yeah.
And then he enters into the absolute Brahman, you have said.
Yeah.
Now, when he takes to the practice of bhakti, will he not again come back to the other side of the door entry, which is what we previously discussed?
So this to here.
Yes.
This can happen when the bhakti is superior. That means bhakti means, so here two chances are there. When that means he tried Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyante. So that is happening. So sometimes that will happen. That means he's trying to meditate on the Brahman. So without doing the bhakti, but he's failing. So finally he understands bhakti is only helping me. Then why don't I do bhakti only? And then he'll come like this. But some people will not interested in this, coming here and doing the bhakti, giving that much glory. He says that they will use bhakti as only just as a mean to merging into the Brahman. So both are possible actually.
So if he has a predominantly the faith that bhakti is superior, then he will come to Ananya Bhakti.
Yeah,
but
that's
if he's
Bahunam
not,
Janmanamante.
yes. So if he's not having that much of faith, but simply takes it as a means, as a support for his vidya that he had already developed, because at this stage he has to give up the vidya, and only then he has to get into the absolute Brahman. That means his bhakti should be the one sustaining factor for him to enter into absolute Brahman, isn't it?
Yes.
So at that time, what is that type of a bhakti different from the kind of Ananya Bhakti? What exactly is that they do by which they can enter into taking shelter of that bhakti and to enter into absolute Brahman?
Yeah, so this is Ananya Bhakti means, so they have full dependency on the bhakti, that full faith on the bhakti. Bhakti is only the mean. Shraddha means what? Bhakti is only the mean which can give the ultimate result for me. But here they see bhakti is the helper for me to enter into the Brahman. Like that they think.
So then what is their sustaining factor? If bhakti is only a secondary factor there, then what is that which actually, what is the main factor which actually pushes them to go to absolute Brahman?
Actually, it is said in the 7th canto, 15th chapter. In more detail, it is explained. So that person who is leaving the boat, using the boat, he will be leave the boat and enter. So then at that time he will be leaving that little portion of bhakti also he leaves and he enters as a soul only. So that bhakti is helping him to remove this vidya and transfer this jivatma into the Brahman.
So that means by giving up bhakti, can one enter into absolute Brahman only just because he is only as a soul? Because all this time we were
he is
reading
having that means in that commentary 11th 10th canto 14th chapter, sloka number is maybe 6, I think. In that commentary also said, so Brahmaji's prayers, this bhakti only is taking care. Bhakti is taking care of that. How it is doing that? Bhakti means Lord's mercy. So Lord is helping.
That means they become something like a Krupa Siddhas. Is it something there like that?
Prabhu?
do they become like a Krupa Siddhas? Because at that stage, the Lord
Not
actually gives
Krupa
them mercy.
Siddhas, but because of a little devotion only, they are able to see non-difference between themselves and with Brahman. Aikyata will happen. So when there is a mercy of the Lord, because of this little portion of bhakti, they are getting the mercy of the Lord, and by that, so they are getting this. For example, in the case of the Jivatma also, when the Jivatma is doing the sadhana, that means till the asakti, so it is, yeah, doing the sadhana. Then after that, whatever the bhava it is getting, so that bhava is not directly coming by the sadhana. This is sadhana definitely derive the krupa from the Lord, and from there, so he will be getting the bhava realization. So whatever the experience of the Lord is coming from the krupa, not by the sadhana, bhakti sadhana also. So similarly, sadhana bhakti, not by the sadhana bhakti. The same principle should apply there also. By doing the little bhakti, so it can do anything. Bhakti can do anything. Bhakti, sadhana bhakti can derive the krupa, and then so this jivatma will be getting the bhava. Or some other cases, without doing the sadhana also, just krupa itself can be cause for the one to realize the bhava, one to get the bhava. Or otherwise, devotee's krupa is deriving the is cause for the getting the krupa of the Lord, and from there also you can get the bhava. So like that, so there is a role of the Lord.
So, Prabhuji, in this case, if we are trying to say that this is the bhava stage, so the bhava means the predominantly the soul identifying with a particular type of a relationship with the Lord,
Yes.
and thereby the Lord actually grants him such a permission, because we have also heard from the previous chapters also that the Lord reciprocates with the devotee according to the way how he desires.
Yes.
So this devotee who is doing Ananya Bhakti, who comes through his sadhana and comes to the stage of bhava, wherein he has so much of attraction to the Lord's katha and form and so on. So the Lord actually gives him that mercy in the same form. So similarly here for the Gyanis, since they have a predominant feeling of becoming merged into the energy of the Lord, which is the Brahman, and there they have recognized the Lord to be the grantor, because of which the Lord actually gives them that permission so that they can enter into Brahman. Is that means the sanction of the Lord for one who is in the stage of sadhana to bhava is what these unalloyed devotees who are practicing jnana at that stage of entry in Brahman, they are looking similar in terms of their mental statuses. Is that how we can understand?
Yeah. So that means here bhava is not directly is derived by the sadhana bhakti. It is sadhana bhakti deriving krupa, and by that krupa of the Lord, then you are getting. Similarly, here leshamatra bhakti, you are deriving the krupa of the Lord, and by that you are able to leave that avidya, and so entering into the Brahman. So like that it is explained actually. In the 7th chapter, 7th canto, 15th chapter, you can refer. Otherwise, 10, 14, 6.
Okay.
Both places.
So,
or otherwise, one more thing is there in the 1st canto, 3rd chapter. So means what is that sloka? Vaisharadi Vidya, Esha Uprata Vaisharadi Vidya. So that is the sloka. There with Jiva Goswami commentary also you can refer there. 1:3. So 1:3:34.
So Prabhuji, in this case, just my maybe my ignorance, I just wanted to ask, for a person who's coming to the bhava stage on the Ananya Bhakti platform, and then he still has to further go into the prema stage and then further develop himself before he can reach to Krishna. Because when we see in this figure, the absolute Brahman, the Gyanis are merging into the absolute Brahman stage. But whereas the Bhaktas, they actually go to the Bhagavan stage. So the upper circle, what we are referring now, which is as Brahman, should it not also have different divisions, which would say as Brahman and Bhagavan? Because
I said this one
is
categorized. Now I didn't write, but
so that then also in my opinion that Bhagavan stage should be a little more upper in the platform so that the bhaktas can actually.
No, it is everything is Bhagavan only. Everything is Bhagavan only, but some people they are seeing as Brahman.
Okay. So,
no divisions in the absolute truth. Absolute
yeah.
truth is one, but seen differently.
Okay, so I mean now it satisfies. So now it satisfies. Thank you.
So that means ultimately what? In the previous chapter we have seen sannyasis, they are approaching the guru and they are inquiring about the absolute truth. Then finally they are getting the knowledge vidya, and so that they are understanding the, that means, and also knowing the Brahman. So here also it said, so the continuation of that, what is that continuation? This jivatma finally, so through vidya it is leaving the avidya. For the practicing cultivating vidya, it needs the sadhanas, various gnana sadhanas. Then finally it is seeing that whole world, whole jagat, complete jagat is out of the maya. So nothing is there, everything is temporary. And finally he, to get the nanumanikaha means he's not stopping himself with this, he's getting the final realization. So that means emerging into the Brahman. So that is also happening. So for that he is leaving. So vidya and also that means gnanam, gnana sadhana, all both is leaving. So gnanam cha. So gnanam cha means gnana sadhana. So gnana sadhanas, both knowledge and knowledge means to the cultivate, means of the cultivating knowledge. Gnana sadhanam cha mai sanyaset. That means mat praptyardam. Mat praptyardam means, so to get the Lord. That means Lord in the form of Brahman. So tejet, that means he should leave. So then ayameva vidvat sanyasaha. He is the real sannyasi. That means who leaves the gnana and means to cultivate the gnana also he leaves. Then there's a vidvat. He is the vidvat. He is the vidwan. So he's a sannyasi, real sannyasi. Sannyasa will happen there also. Okay, we'll go to the next sloka. Same story. Whatever we learn in the third canto or first canto, third chapter, or the 10th canto, same. यही again and again and इधर उधर करके वही बोलते रहते. और ज्ञानिनस्त्वमेवेष्टः स्वार्धो हेतुश्च सम्मतः स्वर्गश्चैवापवर्गश्च नान्योऽर्थो मद्रुते प्रियः.
For learned, self-realized philosophers, I am the only object of worship, the desired goal of life, the means for achieving that goal, and the settled conclusion of all knowledge. Indeed, because I am the cause of their happiness and their freedom from unhappiness, such learned souls have no effective purpose or dear object in life except me.
Yeah. Even Mother Devahuti, Kapila Bhagavan teachings, Sagnana, completely this only. Mataji's understanding, everything same. So here what is said, okay, we'll be seeing the Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary for this also. Nano gnanamiva kim bhaktimapi sanyaset ityaha nahi ityatra nahi ityaha. So that means what? Finally we are in this process of, in the left wing we are leaving the gnana. Finally same way we should leave the bhakti also in the right wing. That means whenever we practice bhakti also we should leave. So then the point is set. So jnaninah iti ahameva ishtaha. So then this sloka is coming. Jnaninah tu ahameva ishtaha swardah etuscha sammatah swargapavargascha nanyah artha madrute priyaha. So here it is said that ahameva ishtaha yajana vishaye bhutaha katam mad yajanam tejet swartah swapekshitam phalam eva aham hetuhu tatsadanam cha iti katam mad bhaktim tejet sammatah ityetat pramanameva yaduktam mayeva brahmabhuta prasannatma ityanantaram bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvataha gnatva vishate tadanantaram. So here Krishna is saying, what he is saying? Some people will go like this, but some jnanis, That means Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. So what is that? Madbhaktim param labate. What is it? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati naka. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. So that means Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati means this person. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Na sochati na kankshati. No lamentation and no hankering. So next, sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labate param. That means there, if you see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary, he is writing, whenever this Jnani Sadhu get the association of the devotee, then what will happen? So next, by that association he is getting the bhakti. So he is getting the bhakti. Then by that bhakti, whatever he got, that means if we get this such a association, such a bhaktas can be many type. So if we get the association of the bhakta, which bhakta, what kind of bhakta, who is interested in the only gnana, that means bhakta mishra gnani. That means who knows bhakti is only the element, is only the tool. Bhakti is only a tool to merge into the Brahman. So such a knowledge only he knows, and such a devotee association he get, then he will also, this sadhu will do bhakti only for the sake of merging into the Brahman. But if you get the association of, so sadhus can be many types. Yes or no? Sadhus means devotees can be many types. So if we get the association of a, so very pure devotee are the different kinds of the karma mishra bhaktas, jnana mishra, uttama, madhyama, kanishta. So you can categorize devotees, so kanishta, madhyama, uttama based upon their qualities they develop, based upon their sadhana, based upon their archana, based upon their so prema to the Lord, many ways. And also sadhus are number of sadhus are there. So if you get this such a devotees association, so who has prema to the Lord, then what will happen? This gnanavan, this person, what is that? So mam abhijanati yavan yaschatmi tattvataha. Then he will be knowing by this bhakti, by the association of that devotee, this person is knowing the Lord. Lord has everything. What is the Lord? He will understand. Then what he will be? He will be. Oh.
Prabhuji, one question.
1 minute. Charging.
Yes,
Laptop. भूल गया मैं. హలో ప్రభు చార్జర్ మర్చిపోయాను నేను. మనకి తాళం చెవి అక్కడ లేదుగా, ఎట్టాగా కొంచెం వచ్చి తాళం చెవి తీసుకొచ్చి ఛార్జింగ్ అయిపోయింది, ల్యాప్టాప్ ఆఫ్ అయిపోతుంది, మర్చిపోయా. ఎస్ ప్రభు, ఎస్ ప్రభు, టెల్ మీ ప్రభు.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand what will be the interest of a devotee, such as a pure devotee, to go and give association to that person who is in that stage over there. Is it because this Jnani who is there already at the stage of ready to merge into Brahman, will he make his own search to find out a bhakta to get the understanding, or the bhaktas go on a hunt to find out him and then bring him to bhakti? What exactly the situation happens when we are trying to say that if he gets an association, how is that association facilitated?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, we are saying that a person who has attained to the stage of almost entering into the Brahman, unless and until he gets the opportunity. Yeah, please go ahead, bro. Once you are free, I'll tell.
हेलो एकदम ही तो 1 सेकंड प्रभु जी प्लीज, मेरे चार्जर आना है. అరే నా దగ్గర ఎవరు లేని క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను, కొంచెం డిస్టర్బ్ చేయ ప్లీజ్. సో yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Please excuse me for my ignorance.
Yeah.
A Jnani who was almost touched to the entrance of the Brahman realization, and there, because of his guru who has given him the opportunity to say that you need to conduct some kind of a bhakti to enter into Brahman stage, that bhakta who has given him this kind of an association, or that Jnani guru,
Yes.
he is also must be situated in Brahman. Only then he should be in a position to direct him. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, if he gets the opportunity to associate with a pure devotee, then he can come to the bhakti platform of Ananya Bhakti to do this. So who will be taking the initiative? Whether that bhakta will take the initiative, or who is there at the stage of entering into Brahman, or the pure devotees will go behind him to bring him to this devotional service? How does it happen?
Devotees will take.
Okay. So the pure devotees will look into such type of people and then try to give them the opportunity to bring it back. Is that how it happens?
Yes. Their association is their free will. They have complete free will to travel anywhere. Bhaktas are completely free to travel any place in this whole universe, outside universe, inside universe, in everywhere. But others, they don't have right to travel. If you have karma, if you do karmi, if someone is karmi, he can maximum go to the swarga. If someone is doing tapasya, he can go to the maharloka, so janaloka and tapoloka. But bhakta is having full freedom to travel anywhere. So that's why he can go to anywhere. Even he can go to the tapoloka, whoever is doing this kind of practice, and he will give association to them, and he can make them so pure devotees also. That is his free will. Actually, it's completely association. Giving association is a sadhu giving his association is completely in his hands. Even Lord also is not having any control on him for this. Aham bhakta paradina. Yeah.
One more aspect of it, which I was actually contemplating yesterday, Prabhu. From these two different paths that we are seeing, one who is doing the Ananya Bhakta and he is coming to the stage of Bhava, so which is also like Raganuga or Vaidhi Sadhana, and then coming to the becoming ripened to the stage of doing the Bhava Bhakti, is still in this material world. But after the Bhava Bhakti and to enter into the Prema Bhakti stage, physical body of that person will still be in this material world, or he would have actually become transferred into the spiritual world at that stage. When can actually this kind of a bhakti could be practiced?
From here onwards, whenever they get the association of the bhakta, that means devotee, from there onwards, actually, body is getting the transformed. That means is transcendentalized. So body is getting transcendentalized, this person's body. But as much as you engage, that means, so this is Mr. Bhakti you are doing. Then after that, Ananya Bhakti you are doing. So as much as bhajan, that means you are engaging your tongue, body, all the senses, mind. So into the devotion, so everything is getting transformed into the spirituality, But the point is, it is not visible to our gross eyes. So we are, that means in the seed form, like you see, for a tree, if it wants to give a bird, this is a tree, and it is giving a bird. To get this bird, so it is from the day one of this plant, this bird is there. And even in the seed, it is there. But what is happening? So, but it is manifesting at certain time. But this bird is there even in this, when this big tree is in the form of a seed. When this tree is in the form of a seed, so then what happens? At that time also this bird is there, but it is there in a very unmanifested form. But this tree is sprouting, this seed is getting a sprout and becoming a big tree, and then it is coming, this bird is coming. So it is manifesting visibly in the bhava. Similarly, beginning of the getting the transcendental body started from the day one, and it is keep on so manifesting. But that is in a in a proper, that means in a state, it will reach in the bhava. That spiritual body reaches in the bhava.
It's a transformation of the physical elements into transcendental elements.
Yes.
That's what happens.
Yes. Transformation is happening.
Thank you, Prabhu.
But even in the prema stage also, one will be in the physical body. One might be seeing, that means externally, physically, that means material body. But material body is like a, so like this a Ganges, water of the Ganges, and there is a foam. So you see foam. That foam, by seeing foam, you should not say Ganges water is impure. Similarly, by seeing the material body to a pure devotee, you should not think that so he is ordinary human being, because there is a spiritual body is there. So only the thing is, we are not able to see. Bhakti Maharani is not, she can show, that means like Dhromara's case, completely, even physically also you can see as a spiritual. So they can go with the body also, but that she doesn't want to do, to hide her glories. In general case, she will hide only. Very rarely she so shows that kind of miraculous, that means her effect. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Clarifying.
Yeah. So Jnaninastu ahameva ishtahas. Okay. Vishwanath is saying, ahameva ishtaha yajana vishayibhuta katam mad yajanam tyajet swardha swapekshitam phalam. So that's why this devotee, this Jnani, if we get the association of a pure devotee, then what will happen? He will also get the attraction for the pure devotion. Like example is Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami's example. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma he is, but he got the association. Then after that he became a devotee. Then Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yavan Yaschasmi Tattvatah Tatah Mam. Then he will be understanding the Lord. So Vakshate cha atrapi bhajamam bhakti bhavatah iti swargah. So here also it is said in this sloka, swargah, what is said? Swargascha eva apavargascha. Swargaschaiva apavargascha, he is saying. That means Swarga means here Sukha Hetuhu, Apavarga means Dukkha Nivrutti. Swarga means he is the cause for the getting the Sukha, and Apavarga means Dukkha Abhavaha. That means removal of the Dukkha. Lord is, so this Gnani after association of the devotee, so after getting the devotion, he will be understand Lord is full of bliss, and also he is the cause for removal of miseries. Like that he will understand. So Swargaschaiva apavargascha nanya ardha mamrute. That means other than the Lord, there is no object of bliss, and also which can remove the miseries. So that means Lord is only the object, so which he can remove which can give the full bliss, and which can remove who can remove the miseries. So like that he will be understanding this Gnani. Then Madhrute Priya. So then he is Mama Priya. Such a Gnani is dear to me. Such a Gnani is dear to me. That's why where he said in the 7th chapter. What is the sloka number? Gnani Mama Priya. मैं भी भूल जाता हूँ, याद नहीं रहते. Gnani aham madhrute, so ardha madhrute, so priya. So that kind of Gnani, whoever is doing the devotion, so then this kind of Gnani will finally, how he will say Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha Bahunam Janmanamante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyante. So that means this Gnani is finally becoming the Bhakta by the association of the pure devotee. Otherwise, some will go like this also. Okay. And that Gnani who became Bhakta, they are dear to the Lord. They are dear to the Lord. Chale Prabhu. Gnana Vignana Samsiddha Padam Sreshtam Vidurmama Gnani Priyatamoto Gnani Priyatamoto Me Gnani Nasau Bibharti Mam.
Those who have achieved complete perfection through philosophical and realized knowledge recognize my lotus feet to be the supreme transcendental object. Thus, the learned transcendentalist is most dear to me, and by his perfect knowledge, he maintains me in happiness.
Yeah. Gnana Vignana Samsiddha Padam Sreshtam Viduhu Mama Gnani Priyatamah Atah Me Gnaninah Aso Bibharti Mam. So here continuing Atra Pracham Gnaninam Anubhavam Pramanayati Gnana iti Sreshtam Matswarupam Ityartha Mama Padam Charanaravindamev Sreshtam Viduhu Jananti Natu Brahma Tattvam Natu Brahma Tattvam. So Tasya Aravinda Nayanasya Ityade iti Sandarbha Etadrishi Gnani tu Mama Priyatamaha. Mama Priyatamaha. He previously said that Mama Priyaha. Here he is saying that Mama Priyatamaha. That means here Gnani who became devotee of the Lord. So he is Priyaha. And but this devotee, this Gnani, with the association of the devotee, he became the devotee. Now, if this devotee goes further, that means if he understand finally, so Lord's lotus feet is only the shelter. That means what he say? Tasya aravinda nayanasya. Mama padam charanaravindameva sreshna. That means he understands Lord's lotus feet is the highest, not the Brahman. And like that, he understands and he takes the shelter at the Lord's lotus feet. Then he'll be the Priyatamaha, dearest. He will be the dearest. Next, okay. Tapastirtham japodanam pavitrani tarani cha nalam kurvanti tam siddhim yagnana kalaya kruta.
That perfection which is produced by a small fraction of spiritual knowledge cannot be duplicated by performing austerities, visiting holy place, chanting silent prayers, giving in charity, or engaging in other pious activities.
Yeah. Tapastirtham japodanam pavitrani itarani cha nalam kurvanti. That means no more he will be practicing tapaha, tirtham, japaha, danam, all these gnana sadhanas. Nalam kurvanti means enough. He will not do. Tam siddhim ya gnana kalaya kruta. He will not at all follow all these. Atayev tapaiti tam siddhim bhakti rupam na alam kurvanti na visheshayanti suddhamiti pate bhakto yogyatam. So that means he will not, that means this kind of, now what he will do, this gnani, till now he has the practice of, he has the idea of practicing gnana, that means tapa, danam, what is that, what mentioned, tapa. Thank you, thank you. 2 సార్లు దిగా 3 సార్లు ఎండకి. తపః తీర్థం జపః దానం. తపః తీర్థం, till now he was practicing, these are all previously, this gnani, tapa, tirtham, japa, all these. Now he will understand after getting the association of the devotees, these are all no more useful for the bhakti. Na alam kurvanti. Na alam kurvanti. Ultimately, Krishna is explaining, that means how various sadhanas and how they will become devotees. So what is the chance of becoming devotees and what will happen? So tapas, tirtham, japo, danam, pavitrani, itarani. All these are the different means, but he will not use. He will not use. He will not use. No more. He will not use. He will be by the association by of the pure devotee. He will get this shraddha and pure devotion. He can become very quickly devotee because this kind of gnani can become very quickly devotee because he is already having the antakarana is pure, detachment is already there. So there is no much obstacles. Fat. And also if he doesn't have any offenses much about seriously considering the devotees not offending, then very quickly he will. You should go on. He might have done some kind of previously some offenses.
Sukadeva Goswami, see, he got attracted
Yes.
by hearing, correct? So he
Yes.
came here.
Yes, here.
He came here.
And he took this.
But then what sadhana, we don't see that, but he was continually hearing. That's
Yeah. But we don't see his life history, na? So that like Narada Muni's case, step by step he explained about his history, but we don't see the Sukadeva Goswami's. How much purification happened or immediately happened. If he doesn't have any offerings, then immediately he will go. But already remaining pure, he is already pure other ways. Okay, so that's what it is said. That means this, gnani, whatever means he was having previously, that he will not practice. Next sloka. So we'll see this way. Actually, anyway, purpose you can read. It's not a big thing. The concept is this: on-site, online, off-site, full, off camera.
Prabhuji, as I told you, I'll be just.
Okay, you are okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. And Radharani Mataji is a fever. I think she's also okay. Adhoksha Prabhu anyway is okay. And I have on site only one student is here. Sambalram Prabhu only.
Oh, Krishna.
No, Venu Gopal Prabhu, I'm here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, but for me, it's difficult to see this diagram. Maybe you can later. Maybe can you explain me a little bit more about this?
This diagram, you know, that's our same diagram. This, you know, we are discussing about the person who got the Jivan Mukti stage. So that person, that Gnani, if he come in contact with the devotee, pure devotee, then he can become the very devotion he will take up. Then he will be dear to him. And if he further go progress in devotion, if he understand, so Lord's lotus feet is only the highest and not the Brahman. Like that, if he understand, then he will become dearmost to the Lord. And such a Gnani, so who became devotee, then what he will do? Previously he was practicing tapas. So that means also different dhanam, japaha, that means various means of the knowledge. So those all means he will leave. Those are now more used for the sake of bhakti, and he will leave all those. Okay. It's like a story.
I have some question, but I will come to you back. You know this about that. Diagram to visuality for me is not so clear, but I will asking you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Next, 5th sloka. Tasmad jnanena sahitam gnatva swatmanamuddhava gnana vignana sampanno bhajamam bhakti bhavatah.
Therefore, my dear Uddhava, through knowledge you should understand your actual self. Then advancing by clear realization of Vedic knowledge, you should worship me in the mode of loving devotion.
Yeah. Therefore, my dear Uddhava, so through the knowledge, you should understand your actual self. Then advancing by clear realization of Vedic knowledge, you should worship me in the mood of loving devotion. So see, just he is making Uddhava as a mean. That means by the practicing this Gnana Marga, by traveling in this Gnana Marga, he understood he is not body, he is soul, and absolutely Brahman. But the conclusion of the Shastras is not the Brahman. Na? Conclusion of Shastra is Vasudeva Paraveda. So that's a Krishna is the conclusion. So that's why he should know that, and he should practice the devotion. And this is my opinion. Krishna's opinion is this. Krishna wants to promote finally Bhajamam Bhakti Bhavatah. Then finally he is saying to worship. Here just he is making Uddhava as a mean. Fifth sloka. Okay. विवक्षितम उपसंहरति तस्मादिति स्वात्मान जीव रूपम करंट बिजली नहीं आया. So that's why finally what he is saying in this sloka, Swatmanam Jivarupam Gnanam Vignanam cha Brahma. Anyway, Vishwanath is saying, so Mameva Bhaja Anyat Sarvam Teja. Mameva Bhaja Anyat Sarvam Teja. So that's why this Gnani leave tapas. That means traveling to the, doing the austerities, doing the japa, doing the dhanam, charity, all those things he should leave. This Gnani. Finally, what he should do? Only Mameva Bhaja. That means should worship only Lord. That means you should enter into the Ananya Bhakti. Mameva Bhaja. That means worship only me. So wherever you go, this diagram only. Bhagavad Gita you go, Bhagavatam you go, any chapter, you take Devahuti, Kapila Bhagavan, or anyone speaking this only. Okay, if you learn this much, you will be the knower of everything. Easy लग रहा है या नहीं? Is it easy? Becoming easy, na? Life is so easy.
Yes, Prabhuji. Definitely the Bhakti Marga is the best and the easy.
Prabhu?
Definitely the Bhakti process is the easiest and more practical.
Yeah. So, but not that, and also all these many times we read many slokas, where it is, what it is, many confusion, a lot of confusion. Now that will not be there. This approach is very good. So this approach, derivation of this approach, we'll see in the next tomorrow's class. This is coming from the 20th chapter only. So that's why you will be going to see this diagram also, how it is drawn. Even Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, everything you can easily understand. Gnana Vignana Yagnena Mamishvatmanam Sarva Yagna Patim Mam Vai Samsiddhim Munayogaman. Formerly, great sages, through the sacrifice of Vedic knowledge and spiritual enlightenment, worshipped me within themselves, knowing me to be the Supreme Lord of all sacrifice and super soul in everyone's heart. Thus, coming to me, these sages achieved the supreme perfection. So now we'll be seeing the sixth sloka. What is saying in the sixth sloka? Then after that, in the sixth sloka, he is saying, Gnana Vignana Sampanna Eva. So Tatra Eva Kutas Tatraha. Gnana Vignana Yagnena Paroksha Gnana Rupa Yagnena Sarva Yagnapatim Swatmanam. So Paramatmanam Atman Swatman Sarva Yagnapatim Mam Atmanam Paramatmanam Atmanyeva Društva Munayaha Samsiddhim Anvagaman Evam Bhutaha Samsiddhim Gataha Prachinah Munaya Eva Gnana Vignanabhyam Sampannaha Uchyante Ityarthaha. So here one more point we are seeing. See, by the knowledge, by the vidya or by the knowledge, so he is able to know, he is able to know about himself, and also he is able to know as Brahman. But what next? Next he can also know, that means Vignana Yagnena, Paroksha Gnana Rupamaya Yagnena. Also he will be knowing that by associating the appropriately bhaktas, he will be knowing that Brahman, superior to the Brahman is the Bhagavan. Lotus feet of the Lord is the highest pada. Highest is highest. So like that he will be knowing then, and also sometimes Jnanis may come in contact with the yogis also. Yogis also. And then what will happen? He will be coming to know about that. About what? About this absolute truth. He will be coming to know about absolute truth as Paramatma in the heart. This is also possible. This is also possible. Paramatman. So this kind of possibility also is there. So that's why otherwise we will not see that marga actually. So then you will be coming to know that he is as a Paramatman. Such a people are known as Munis. This is the point he said. So ultimately what? Through the knowledge he came to know about himself and also Brahman. Through the devotion he will be coming to know about Lord as Bhagavan. Devotional knowledge, Bhakti Gnanam, Bhagavad Gnanam, through the Bhagavad Gnanam. And also through the in the association of yogis, you'll be coming to know the Lord as absolute truth as Paramatma also. This much is said. Next. Tvayyuddhavashrayati yastrivido vikaro Mayantara patati nadyapavargayoryat Janmadayo asya yadamitavatasya kimsyur Adyantayoryadasato tadeva madhye.
My dear Uddhava, the material body and mind, composed of the three modes of material nature, attach themselves to you, but they are actually illusion, since they appear only at the present, having no original or ultimate existence. How is it possible, therefore, that the various stages of the body, namely birth, growth, reproduction, maintenance, dwindling, and death, can have any relation to your eternal self? These phases relate only to the material body, which previously did not exist, ultimately will not exist. The body exists mainly at the present moment.
Yeah. So here, what he is saying, एवं उक्त लक्षणः ज्ञान विज्ञान संपन्नः मां भजन् ज्ञानी पराकाष्ठं प्राप्तः हि अति दूरे वर्ततां त्वं तु मने त्वं तु त्वं पदार्थं ज्ञात्वा अविद्योत्तीर्णः भवेत् भवेत् भवत्युद्धवं भवेत् इत्युद्धवं लक्षीकृत्य सर्वलोकमः. So here Krishna is coming once again back, he is in the case of the Gnani, what he's doing? So Parakashtam Praptaha, this Gnani, this is a Gnani, Parakashtam Praptaha, so Ati Dure Vartatam Tvam Tu Tvam Padardam Gnatva. So he will be, so this he is here means he will be knowing that himself as a soul, Tvam Padardam and Tat Padardam. Tvam Padardam means knowing self, knowing self. He'll be knowing himself as Atma and also rejecting the avidya. This will be happening. This Gnani getting the sufficiently knowledge. So then what will happen? He will be knowing himself and also he will be leaving the avidya. So this point through the keeping, that means Uddhava as a mediator. So Krishna is telling to everyone this point. Hey Uddhava, Tvai Jivatmani Yas Trivida Gunamayo Vikaraha Dehadhyasa Ashrayati Tvam Ashritaha Ayam Adhyaso Yah Vartate Ityartha Samaya Avidyaiva Avidya Karya Ityartha Antara madhye eva apatati prapnoti bhavati iti na ayam tava outpattikah dharmah iti bhavaha. So what Krishna is saying, just he's going back actually once again. This Gnani, how he realizes about himself, he'll be realizing himself as Atma. And what about this body and this whole thing? This is because of the So Maya, Trivida Gunamaya Vikaraha. This body is till now, yeah. In the ignorance, people think that I am body. Operate laptop garam ho raha hai. So Jivatma thinking himself as body with the when it is in the with the avidya. So now Krishna is saying that simple point. This body is comprised of three modes. Is three modes, and there is a vikaraha dehadhyasa ashraya tvam ashritaha ayam adhyasa. So this is ashraya dehadhyasa. Ashrayati tvam ashritaha ayam adhyasa yah vartate. So because of the Maya, what is happening? Adhyasa is happening. That means Jivatma is not identifying himself as a soul, and it is imposing the qualities of the body on himself. It is known as Adhyasa. That is due to what? Due to the Maya, or otherwise Avidya. Jivatma is imposing himself, imposing the qualities of the body on itself because of the Maya. So like that, he will be knowing this Gnani. Knowing like that, so Maya avidya eva avidyakari ityartha. So antara madhye eva apatati prapnoti bhavati nayam. So that's why ultimately these qualities, whatever are there, we are bodily qualities. Oh, those are all due to the Maya only, not the natural qualities of the Jivatma. So like that, he will be coming to know. औत्पत्तिक धर्म इति भावः न अयम तव औत्पत्तिक धर्म इति भावः यतः न आद्यपवर्गः आद्यन्तवतः साचे नास्ति इत्यर्थ. That means these qualities, bodily qualities, they are not, so they are not nadhyantavan. That means they are not eternal. They are not eternal qualities. They are temporary qualities. They have beginning and ending. Adyantavantaha. Adu antacha. So they are not permanent. Okay, this is said. So tava chidrupatvat, but you are chidmaya, but your body qualities are produced. Tava chidrupatvat tasya jadarupatvad iti bhava. That means, but these qualities are due to inert material. Those are jada. Yadami dehasya janmadaya te tasya chidatmanah tava kim syuhu na syureva. Katham tvam jatoham mrutoham sukhi dukhi iti atmana manyase. That's why. So these body qualities, body are just temporary. It's not you. Then how can you say that I am born and I die? So I am happy, I am sorrow. Why you are saying this? Why you are believing this? So these are all not correct. Nanu yada me deha sambandha nasit. So nanu yada me deha sambandha nasit yada cha gnanena apasyati tada eva aham dehatiriktaha bhavitum shaknuyama aduna tu deha eva aham ityataha aha asataha brahmapatitatvad asatyasya vastunah आद्यन्तयोः यत् सत्यं वस्तु मध्येपि तदैव यथा व्याघ्राविष्टपुरुषस्य व्याघ्रत्वप्रतीतकाले पुरुषत्वमेव सत्यं न तु व्याघ्रत्वं तत्र जीवस्य अविद्यासम्बन्धः स मायाज्ञानादेव अनाद्यविद्यासम्बन्धः इति सर्वलोकप्रसिद्धिः अन्यथा अविद्यासम्बन्धस्य सर्वदैव अनादित्वे सति Swarupa prasakto gnanena api matam tu sadbir na dhritam. So what is said here? So it is a technical point. So Purapakshi is putting a question. Nanu yada me deha sambandha na asit. If I don't have any relation with the body. So yada cha also gnanena upasyati. So tada eva aham dehatiriktah bhavitum shaknuyama. When I practice the gnana, then I will be completely beyond getting the knowledge of beyond the body. Bhavitum shaknuyama aduna tu deha eva aham iti aha. But now I am body only. So like that Purapakshi may say, yada me deha sambandha nasit yada cha gnanena upasyati. Gnanena apasyati, that means by the gnana it goes away. Tada aham dehatirikto bhavitum shaknuyama. So aduna tu deha eva aham, but now I am only the body. Ityatah aha asatah brahma pratitatvad asatyasya vastunah adyan. So what is happening is simple actually. Because now this jivatma is bounded by the body. So because of this, because he doesn't have now knowledge, since he is having the avidya, so he is thinking himself as body. So but whenever he practice the gnana, then it will go away. Evam aham iti aha asatah brahma pratitatvad. So example is given. Vyagra Vishta Purushasya, that means in someone, so tiger is entering, that means consciousness of tiger is entering in someone. Then what will happen? Vyagratva Pratita Kalepi, that means even he feeling himself as tiger, but still Kalepi Purushattvameva Satyam, but he is Purusha only, he is a human being only, not the Vyagratvam, but not the tiger. So in someone, the consciousness, that the tiger consciousness entered. But because of the tiger consciousness entered into him. Okay, then what will happen? He will be thinking himself as tiger. But next, but actually, what is the reality? He is a human being. That is only the Satyam. Similarly, Jivatma, because of avidya, is thinking himself as body. Bodily consciousness it is getting. But what is the reality? He is Jivatma only. Actually, Mayavadi is having a big, very problematic argument. That's why Vishwanath is explaining this much. Anyway, Mayavadi argument that takes a lot of time. I am not going in that. So Mayavadi is having the objection here so much. So Purapakshi, if I explain, then you will understand. This looks very simple to you, but a Purapakshi point, and you know, then only you will understand this much. Okay, that is okay, no problem. So get this much. So we'll go to the next sloka. We don't have much time also. So 7 to next what? 8th sloka, na? 8th sloka, we'll see the 8th sloka. Sri Uddhava Uvacha Gnanam Vishuddham Vipulam Yathaita Vairagya Vijnana Yutam Puranam Akyahi Vishweshwara Vishwamurte Tad Bhakti Yogam Cha Mahadvimrugyam.
Sri Uddhava said, O Lord of the universe, O form of the universe, please explain to me that process of knowledge which automatically brings detachment and direct perception of the truth, which is transcendental and which is traditional among great spiritual philosophers. This knowledge sought by elevated personalities describe loving devotional service unto your lordship.
Yeah. Definitely, I will give certificate to only 2 people, Bhakti Vedanta. One is Syam Balram Prabhu, second is Ramakrishna Prabhu. I saw so much drama and natak here. So I am fully determined. I will never give to the others. This is pakka. So दुनिया में कुछ भी हो जाए. So definitely I will not give. Lot of.
I like also the certificate.
Huh? Adhoksha Prabhu never, because he didn't write any exam. And also
No
he didn't
problem.
too many classes.
Oh, come on. I listening that.
Yes, but Adhoksha Prabhu will not get. He should finish his previous exams, everything. And Radharani
Okay.
Radharani Mataji will not get. And also, no one actually. I am completely fine. That means enough. Enough. बहुत देखा actually. कोई भी rules नहीं, regulations नहीं. इतना बार बोलने के बाद, nobody is saying any responsibility for absent class, putting absent for class. किसी को क्या actually? Attendance is not sufficient. Only one thing, because we have all the attendance for everyone. So attendance is not sufficient. You are not qualified for the Bhakti Vedanta. Everyone, one statement finish. Enough. और किसी को बोलेंगे बोल लीजिए. बहुत एक्चुअली ना मुनी फिनी किसी को नहीं देंगे. अभी सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए ना. अभी दिखाता हूँ मैं. अभी तक आप लोग दिखाए मुझे. अभी दिखाऊंगा मैं. कितना दिन घुमाऊंगा, कितना साल. ना एग्जाम कंडक्ट करूंगा, ना सर्टिफिकेट दूंगा. क्योंकि इतना टॉर्चर किए हैं. चलिए बोलता हूँ अभी इसीलिए इसके लिए वेट कर रहा हूँ मैं. लेट्स. सो नो एक्चुअली प्रभु ये डर बंद करिए प्रभु. आ रहे आएगा. इसको फैन इसको ले लीजिए. इसको फैन देखिए, इसको यूज करिए. ज्ञानम विशुद्धम. पनिशमेंट देना ही पड़ेगा स्टूडेंट्स को, तभी सही रहेगा. आ रहे हैं प्रभु. ఏం మాతాజీ ఏమంటారు?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
ఇస్ రైట్.
ఏదంటే
ఏదంటే అదే. ఎస్ ఏదంటే. ఓకే. జ్ఞానం విశుద్ధం. Uddhava is asking question now. Okay. Gnanam vishuddham vipulam yathaitat वैराग्य विज्ञान युतम पुराणम अथा क्या ही विश्वेश्वर विश्वमूर्ते त्वद भक्ति योगम च महद विमृग्यम. He is saying that Sri Uddhava, so he is asking a question now. Actually he is asking a question after hearing this much. He is asking a question now. So tvam padartha gnanam shrutva tat padartha gnana vignane savairagye. So pruchan तन्मात्रेण अपि aparitoshat sarvadurlabham bhakti yogam cha pruchati. So in the last 2 slokas, if you see, Krishna is explaining about the tvam padartha gnanam. So that's why tvam padartha gnanam, after hearing this tvam padartha gnanam, Uddhava is not feeling sufficient. He is also asking about tat padartha gnanam and also vignanam. Gnanam means knowledge about the tat padartha, and also vignanam means how to realize that, realization of the tat padartham. So both he is asking along with the vairagya. So how to get the along with the vairagya, he is also asking the tat padartha gnanam, that means about the absolute truth, and also how to experiential knowledge of the absolute truth. This is also he is asking, and he is also not satisfied with this much, and he is also asking about the sarva durlabham, that is very difficult to get. What is that? That is bhakti yogam. So he is also asking about the bhakti yogam. Okay. Vishuddham tvam padartha gnanatitam vipulam tat padartha vishayatvad bruhattaram puranam prachina gnani sammatam tathaiva sambhodayati. He Vishweshwara. So Vishuddham Vipulam. Vishuddham Gnanam is said here. That is why it is said Vishuddham. It is the so Tvam Padartha Gnanam Atitam. It is beyond the Tvam Padartha Gnanam. That's why it is Vishuddham. Tvam Padartha Gnana Atitam. So Gnani should not know that just he should know, that means knowing the I am soul. This is not sufficient. Above to this, there is one more. Vishuddha Gnanam is there. That is Tat Padartha Gnanam. And that is Puranam. That means Prachina Gnana Sammatam. That means it is accepted by the previously so many Gnanis. So, and also Tathaiva Sambhodayati He Vishveshwara Vishwamurte iti Vishwasya Mityatve Tad Aishwaryam Tan Murtitvam cha Vrutha Aha. He Vishveshwara Vishwamurti. He is giving two Sambodhanas he is using. He Vishveshwara, He Vishwamurti. What is the meaning here? Vishveshwara means Vishwasya Mithyatve Tada Aishwaryasya Tanmurtitvam cha Tada Aishwaryam Tanmurtitvam cha Vrutha eva iti bhavaha. So that means if Vishwa, generally Mayavadis what they say, this Jagat Mithya. If Jagat is Mithya, then Lord is also Mithya, na? Because he is the Ishvara of the Jagat, Vishweshwara. If Jagat is Mithya, and then he is the controller of the Jagat also, will be the Vrutha, is useless. So, but it is not true. That is only sarcastically said. So, only the Jnanis they think Jagat is Mithya. And that's why, if Jagat is Mithya, the controller of the Jagat is also useless. But that is in the case of who will take like this? Mayavadis they take, not the devotees. Mahadbihi Shuka Sanakadi Bhirapi Visheshatah Murgyam Gnanadhyamishram Suddham. So he is also asking one more thing. What is that? Which is free from the Gnana, which is very pure. That is what? Suddha Bhakti, which is also inquired by the, which is also searched by the Sukadeva Goswami and Sanakadi Rishis. That is nothing but what? That is Shuddham Bhakti. So all these three things he asked. He asked Tatpadartha Gnanam, and also he asked the about the Bhakti, and one more point is Vairagyam. Sai Vairagyam means that's why Yatha Etad Vairagya Vijnanayatam. Vairagya Vijnanayatam said na, so that's why Vairagyam also he asked. So Uddhava is asking these three things in this shloka. Tapatrayena bihitasya ghore santapyamanasya bhavadvanisha pashyami nanyasharanam tavangri dvandva tapatra amruta vivarshat.
My dear Lord, for one who is being tormented on the terrible path of birth and death and is constantly overwhelmed by the threefold miseries, I don't see any possible shelter other than your two lotus feet, which are just like a refreshing umbrella that pours down shower of delicious nectar.
So now, Uddhava is continuing. Nano gnane neva krutardi bhavaha kim suddha bhakti yoga prashnena ityaha. Someone can ask to Uddhava, hey Uddhava, by the gnana we can realize the self and also we can realize the Brahman. What is the use of suddha bhakti? So one may ask question like to him, like this to him. Then he is saying what? Tapatrayena. This sloka he is telling. So what he is saying? Amrutam. Amrutam means, in this Amrutam is there? Yeah. Tapatrayobihitasya ghore santapyamanasya bhava enanya sharanam tavangri dvandvata patrad amrutabhivarshat. So Amritam, what is used? Amritam means Brahmanandadapyadikam Sukapradham Madhuryam abhitaha varshati iti. So that means this Bhakti Yoga is such a wonderful thing. It is going to bestow the bliss which is superior to the Brahmanandam also. So that's why I am saying, so Uddhava is saying that, Uddhava is saying one should know about Bhakti. Yaduktam ya nivrutti stanubrutam tava pada padma. This is a sloka actually. Nivrutta tanubrutam in another place. And also it is said another places, sa brahmani swamahimnyapi nata ma bhut. By this also. That means Jnanam vina, even without the Jnana, one can seize out his material entanglement by the Bhakti. Jnana sadhya brahmanandadapi adhika anandasya cha labhat. What is the advantage of this Bhakti? This Bhakti, so even without the help of Jnana, it can seize out the material entanglement, and also it is giving the bliss higher than the Jnana. So that's why, so I am saying to everyone, I am inquiring about the Bhakti. So like this Uddhava is saying. Next, is clear getting everyone? Mataji? Next, Dashtam Janam Sampatitam Dashtam Janam Sampatitam Bilesmin Kalahina Kshudra Sukoru Tarsham Samuddarenam Krupaya Pavargye Vacho Virasincha Mahanubhava.
O Almighty Lord, please be merciful and uplift this hopeless living entity who has fallen into the dark hole of material existence, where the snake of time has bitten him. In spite of such abnormal condition, this poor living entity has tremendous desire to realize the most insignificant material happiness. Please save me, my Lord, by pouring down the nectar of your instruction, which awaken one to spiritual freedom.
So what he is asking here, so nanu tarihi suddha bhakti yogena eva krutardi bhava kim jnana yoga prashnena ityatah. So Purva Pakshi is asking, acha beta, so to Uddhava, Purva Pakshi is saying to Uddhava, so Ocha, so you are saying that bhakti yoga is so wonderful, then why you are asking about the tatpadardam and vairagyam, these things about the gnanam? Because in the previous sloka, in the 8th sloka, we have seen Uddhava was asking about whom? Uddhava is asking about Mataji.
Prabhuji?
Uddhava was asking in the 8th sloka what things? सो रहे हैं क्या तो पढ़ सुन रहे माताजी?
No, Prabhuji.
तत्पदार्थम ज्ञान है
The process of the knowledge.
तत्पदार्थ ज्ञान वैराग्यम, that means, and next
Transcendental knowledge.
Next Bhakti.
Bhakti.
So then what Purva Pakshi said, why you are asking Bhakti? Why you are asking about the Bhakti? So Gnanam is there. Then what Uddhava said? Bhakti is giving the higher bliss than the Gnanam. And also Bhakti doesn't need help of the Gnanam. It can seize out the material entanglement by himself, Bhakti itself. That he said. Then Purva Pakshi is asking one more question. Then why you ask, if Bhakti is only the best, then why you asked about the Gnana also? Because in that previously Tatpadartha Gnanam you asked, na? Tatpadartha Gnanam and Vairagya. Then why you asked all this? So then answer is this sloka. Dashtam janam sampatitam bilesmin kalahina kshudra sukoru tarsham samuddarenam krupaya pavargair vacho virasincha manubhava. So what is the meaning of this sloka? So then answer is like this. So why he is asking then Gnana? The reason is Ayam Ardhaha Suddha Bhakti Yogasya Yadruchika Mahad Krupaika Lakshyatvat Na purusha prayatna mulakatvam gnana yogastu nishkama karma janya gnanena. What is the point he is saying? So bhakti yoga is not easily available. Bhakti yoga is available. Bhakti is attained. Anyone get bhakti from where? From the sadhu sangha, and that sadhu sangha is completely is chance. It's random. It's random. It is not in our hands. It's not in anyone's hand. Bhakti should be given only. Bhakti cannot be so practiced by themselves without giving anyone. Bhakti cannot come. So that's why bhakti is completely dependent on the mercy of the that sadhus. So free will. So depends upon the mercy of the sadhus free will. So if they have free will to give the mercy, then you can become bhakta. But you cannot become bhakta by yourself. But you can become gnani by practicing the nishkama karma yoga. So that's why nishkama karma janya gnanena. So gnata, then by practicing nishkama karma yoga, one will be getting the tvam padartha gnanam. So swataha eva sulabha, that is very easy to get. Next, ityayam purusha prayatna sadhya tasmat. So like that. So that means one can get the tvam padartha gnanam so easily by the practicing of the gnana yoga. But how to understand oneself as a soul or self or as a servant? So using the bhakti yoga is not so easily available. Aprapta, that means if someone is not, that means dependent on the association of the devotees. So that's why getting bhakti is not so sure for everyone. So in case if one is not getting the bhakti yoga, for him, gnana yoga is going to deliver him from this material miseries. So that's why I am asking about the gnana yoga also. Okay, understood? Why he is asking about the gnana yoga?
Yes, Prabhuji. Basically, Uddhava asked about the Jnana Yoga in order to understand the process of deliverance within this material world. But whereas, in the sense like to become free from the miseries of the material world, but actually to become transcendental, he needs to understand Bhakti Yoga, and that is the only process. So he inquired for both of this.
थोड़ा सा tuning चाहिए. Little tuning is needed.
So should we understand that he inquired for the regarding the jnana, I mean through practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga, that itself is good enough for him to become free from the material miseries or the material coverings, but it cannot help him to transcend or to know about himself as well as about the Lord. Is that how we should understand?
No. In the just if you see the conversation, so conversation, what is that we have seen? Uddhava is asking about in the 8th sloka both tatpadartha gnanam, that means about the gnana. Gnana yoga is asking about the gnana yoga and also vairagyam and also bhakti. Then what is the question we put to him? Hey, why you are asking the both gnana and the bhakti? So bhakti yoga, what is the need of asking the bhakti yoga? Then what he said that bhakti yoga I am asking because bhakti yoga is so blissful, it is giving the highest bliss than the gnana, and that's why I am, and also it is very independent. That means it is very without dependent on the gnana itself, it can seize out all the material miseries to the jiva, and it is so powerful. So that's why I am also asking about the bhakti yoga, he said. Then we put two questions. Okay, then bhakti yoga is only everything it is doing, it is also blissful. Then why did you ask about the gnana yoga? This is a question we put in the 8th sloka. You also ask about the gnana yoga. Why you are asking about the gnana yoga then? So you could have asked only the bhakti yoga because it is the best. Then what is the answer? That is said in this sloka. So what I said?
The purpose is that, Uddhava's concern is that how to deliver the conditioned soul.
Yeah, Uddhava's concern is how to deliver the conditioned souls.
Yeah,
Okay.
but problem is that bhakti is not always available.
Bhakti is not not automatically attained. Bhakti is attained from the sadhu's association only, where that sadhu's association is yadruchika, means it is spontaneous, it is instantaneous, it is not in the hands of practitioner, it is in the hands of the the sadhu. It's completely dependence upon the free will of the sadhu. So that's why attaining the bhakti is not a easily thing. That means, yeah.
Jnana can be attained even without.
Jnana can be done by the nishkama karma yoga.
Yeah.
It is going to come.
It can be effort by human effort.
Yeah, that means one is doing the karma and he's seeing the results of the karma. So that means painful, and I will not do my karma for the getting the results. Then automatically you will by this much. So you will be easily coming to the stage of that nishkama karma yoga and realizing himself as soul, so that he can be crossing over this conditional life, material conditional life. So this is the point, he said. But one point is what Ramakrishna Prabhu is saying. So apavargyapavargaihi vachanamrutaihi asinchite tvan chandroditam gnanamrutameva samyag apavarga janakam bhavati iti bhava. So he said one more word. That means here Bhakti Yoga is also glorified in this. By the word apavargaihi in the 5th canto we have seen. This Bhakti Yoga process is so blissful and wonderful, and which is coming from the mouth of the Lord. So, Tvan Mukha Chandroditam Gnanamrutam Yeva Samyak Apavarga Janakam Bhavati. So, whatever the speech delivered by the Lord, by that, so one will be getting the completely detachment from the Lord, from the Samyak Apavarga. That means detachment from this material world. What is said here? Apavargaihi. This word is there. Apavargaihi means vachanamrutaihi. Vachobir asincha mahana. That means he is asking, last line he is explaining actually in this sloka. In the last line of this sloka, he is saying that, oh my dear Lord, you just please pour your words. Why he is saying please your words is said here as apavargaihi. That means apavarga apavarga haihi. Lord's words are so blissful and wonderful. By those words only one will be getting the detachment. That means his instructions are so useful to come out from the material entanglement. So with the just is a visheshna. It is one of the visheshna to the. So Lord's words is given. Nothing more. So okay. Next
question. Yeah, that these words can be understood as indulgation, or how to say that jnana process is a short process. It's difficult, but you can reach destination.
No, this what he wants to say here, Uddhava. Your words are so wonderful, and those are going to really liberate us. That means whatever Krishna says, Gnana Marga or the Bhakti Marga, so those are very wonderful, and those completely, that means relieve one from the material entanglement. So that much only said.
That means that is not a Brahman.
Anything, whatever Lord said, if you anyone follow that, so that will be relieving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Bhagavan Uvacha Ittame Tatpura Raja Bhishmam Dharmabrutam Varam Ajata Sitru Prapracha Sarvesham Nunu.
The Supreme Person of Godhead said, my dear Uddhava, just as you are now inquiring from me, similarly in the past King Yudhishthir, who considered no one his enemy, inquired from the greatest of the upholders of the religious principle, Bhishma, while all of us were carefully listening.
So he is saying that previously, whatever you are asking now, the same thing is also asked by the same way. So by the Yudhishthir Maharaj to Bhishma Dev. Ajatasatru means Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj asked this same thing to Bhishma. So it's the same thing you will be also. I am explaining now to you. You hear, carefully listening. निवृत्ते भारते युद्धे सुहृन् निधन विह्वलः श्रुत्वा धर्मान् बहून् पश्चान् मोक्ष धर्मान् न पृच्छत.
When the battlefield of Kurukshetra had ended, King Yudhishthira was overwhelmed by the death of many beloved well-wishers. And thus, after listening to the instruction about many religious principles, he finally inquired about the path of liberation.
Yeah, you all know after the Stri Parva. In Stri Parva, that means, what is that? Bhishma Parva, Drona Parva, next Karna Parva, next Shalya Parva, then next everything is over. Then this Aswathama is killing those. What is that? That Parva name is after the Shalya. Our Shalya Parva, this is in the night time he attacks na. Agna. What is that Parva? कुछ भी याद नहीं. Drona Parva, Karna Parva, Shalya Parva, Sauptika Parva. Next is Stri Parva. Sauptika Parva means, that means people are sleeping. All the Pandava, Upa Pandavas are sleeping and Pandavas are sleeping and Aswathama came and attacked on them. So war, doing a war on sleeping people. That's why it is known as Supta, Sauptika Parva. Then Yuddha is finished. Aswadhama killed Upa Pandavas, finished. Then after that, next Parva is what? Stri Parva. All the women, so they lost their husbands and they went to the Ganges. So Ganges only, na? What is that? Where they went to? So all these Kunti and others, so Gandhari, all they along with their son, the daughter-in-laws all became so vidavas, widows. They became widows. So and they have to get that widow dress, everything. So that's why Stri Parva. All these women was crying like anything because they lost their husbands, their children, their brothers, their relatives, all full of in the sorrow. How 18 Akshahuni Sena completely destroyed, finished. So then, by seeing this crying, actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj goes there. By seeing these all widow women, and small children, they are pregnant, some are like with small children, and some are old. All they lost their husbands. Nobody is there. And then he understands, what is this? What I did? What is the use of? So my win, like before the Kurukshetra Yuddha, so Arjuna was having so much, that means lamentation. The same lamentation is there. So after finishing of the battle in Yudhishthira Maharaj, then he was crying, the mummy, like that. So what happened? And then, so to pacify him, Krishna reached there, Vyasdev and all the sages, they came and they said, Nana beta, don't cry beta, don't cry. But he didn't hear anyone actually. Acha beta, tum to aisa baat nahi sunega. To he will not. He was crying literally, like this, fully crying. So then, only thing is best. Then Krishna came. Okay, what is the solution? Then I will take him to our great grandfather, Vishmadev. So then Okay. So next, what happened? So then after that, so Yudhishthira Maharaj went to the Bhishmadev. So Bhishmadev started giving the instructions to him. What are those instructions? Yeah, first can't also those are little bit is there, little story, and also that's a Shanti Parva. Is completely about this only, Shanti Parva. Okay. So that is the story behind this. Next we will continue the our Nivritte Bharate Yuddhe. That means once Yuddha is finished, so he was so much lamenting. So then Bhishmadev explained all the kinds of the dharmas. Now you are all knowing the glories of the Bhakti. Now we should study the Shanti Parva and understand. So what are the duties of various varnas and ashramas and different, and then how to devotile, how those can be devotile, and then it can be designed. That means the varna ashrama systems, and it's very important actually. Shanti Parva, which is having the 12,000 slokas. It's like so. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3/4 of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's like 3/4 of 2/3 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. 60-70, 60%, 66%. Tanaham te bhidasyami devavrata mukachrutan gnana vairagya vignana shraddha bhaktyupa brumhitan. I will
now speak unto you those religious principles of Vedic knowledge, detachment, self-realization, faith, and devotional service that were heard directly from the mouth of Bhishma Deva.
So he is going to speak. I will now speak unto you those religious principles of Vedic knowledge, detachment, self-realization, faith, and devotional service. So that were heard directly from the mouth of Bhishma. At that time, because Krishna also is sitting there. So there Krishna also was there, and Krishna also heard from the mouth of Bhishma Dev. So those things he is repeating here. Naivakadasha panchatrin bhavan bhuteshu yena vai ikshetaadaikamapyeshu tasgnanam mama nischitam.
I personally approve of that knowledge by which one sees the combination of 9, 11, 5, and 3 elements in all living entities, and ultimately one element within those 28.
So first of all, he is starting with the Sankhya philosophy. So that is a Gnanam. What is this phenomenal world, material world? This material world is comprised of the how many elements? 11 plus 5 plus 3. That means total. Ekadashi means 11, 5 means 5, Pancha means 5, 16, 16 plus 3, 19. And next. So what is given, you will see. 19, it is counted as 19. So here Naveti, Nava Ekadash, Nava is also there. Na? 16 plus 5, 19. So 11 plus 5, 16, 16 plus 3, 19, 19 plus 9, total 28 elements. It can be 28 elements also. So first 9 is Prakriti, Purusha, Mahad, Ahankara, Panch Tanmatra. These are all 9 elements. Prakriti, Purusha, Mahad, Ahankara, Panch Tanmatrani. Panch Tanmatra means smell, so form, taste, touch, and sound. Next, Ekadash 11. Ekadash Indriyani. That means, what are those? 5 gross senses, 5 knowledge senses, 5 working senses, and 1
Mind.
Total 11. Over. The next, Pancha is there, Pancha Mahabhutani. You all know Pancha Mahabhutas. Earth, water, fire. So, earth, water, fire, air, and sky. So total this. 5 plus 11 plus 5. 9 plus, yeah. 29 you got na, Prakriti Purusha Mahad Ahankara. All. So next, Trayah Gunaha Etan Bhavan Ashtavimshati Tattvan. 28 tattvas, all these. These are 28 tattvas. ट्वेंटी 28 कैसे बढ़ गया?
Three modes also, Prabhuji.
अच्छा, 3 modes also he took na, actually. Indriyani Pancha. Nahi Mataji, no, where 3 modes he took. He didn't took 3 modes.
In the purport it is written, Prabhuji.
No, 9 means you see Prakriti, Purusha, Mahat, Ahankara, Panch Tanmatrani. So then it is total how many? 9. Prakriti, Purusha, that means Jiva and Ishvara. Prakriti and Jiva. And Mahat, Ahankara, Panch Tanmatrani. Total how many it is? It is 9. Ekadash. So 20. 20 plus
11. Sorry.
5, 24. Acha, 24. 9 plus 11, 20. 20 plus 5,
25.
25.
25 plus 3.
3 actually, okay. 3 means Sattva Rajas Tamas, okay. So 28, that's why it came 28. Okay. Okay, Mother. Yes, you are right. 3 gunas also you can. So that's a 28 it being. Otherwise 25 only, na? Ishvara is 26. But here, so extra thing is considered as 3 modes also considered. So that's a total 28 tattvas. But Ishvara is considered as a separately. So Ikshita, that means he is seeing this Prakriti. So that's why he is also counted here. But not in this 28, but separately it is said. So this is what? This is Gnanam. Knowing about all these elements is known as Gnanam. Next, Etadeva hi Vignanam natai kena yena yet stityutpatyapyayan pashet bhavanam trigunatmana.
When one no longer sees the 28 separated elements which arise from a single cause, but rather sees the cause itself, the Supreme Person of Godhead, at that time one's direct experience is called Vijnana or self-realization.
When one no longer sees these 28 separate from the elements, if one is not seeing these are not separate from the Lord, then that is Vijnanam. So Vijnanamaha etad eva ityuddhavena. Etad means Gnanameva Vijnanam bhavati. This knowledge will become Vijnanam. So Katam ityataha. How it is possible? How this knowledge will become Vijnana? Yena Paramatmana ekena yad Vishwam Anugatam yatha purvam ikshitam tathaiva nekshate. Ayamardha Gnanadashayam Parikshi Bhutena Paramatmana Anugata Sarve Paroksha Parikshi Bhuta Bhava Drishta Vijnana Dashayam tu Eka Paramatmeva Aparokshi Bhuta Ikshita Bhavati Tad Anubhavananda Deva Tat Karyanam Bhavanam Ikshane Avakasho Na Bhavet Iti Advitiya Anubhava. So what is happening? Etadeva Vijnano na tathekena yena yat. So that means once he realized the Paramatma Lord, then he is realizing so much. He is getting the Paramatma and experience of the Paramatma such a way. So he doesn't get any chance to see the or experience this material world. Fully experiencing the only Paramatma. So Paramatmeva aparokshi bhuta ikshita bhavati tad anubhavananda deva. So that means he is experiencing the Paramatma. Because of that experience, tat karyanam, that means Paramatma's the activities. Bhavanam ikshane, that means that karyanam means this all material world. That means He's glancing on the Prakriti and producing all these elements. So these are all karyas. So he will not at all having any chance to see all these. Avakasha na bhavet. Iti advitiyat advitiyatma anubhava. That's why this experience of Paramatma is so wonderful. And it is, so it will not make you to feel of this material world. Gnanada dashayam ekena paramatmeneva anugatanam karyanam sarvesham parama karanatmakatvat paramatmaikyameva yaduktam. So, and also whatever he see, this also he will not see these are all separately from the Lord. Everything is the product of the Lord, product from the Lord. So that's why so everything he will be not seeing the separate from the Lord. Everywhere he will be seeing Paramatma. That means, so Vijnana means what? Seeing everywhere Paramatma, not seeing the anything separately. That is the point actually is explained. That is Vijnanam. Okay. Adavante cha madhye cha srujyat srujyam yadanviyat punastat priyata sankrame yadi cheshyati tadaiva sa.
Commencement, termination, and maintenance are the stages of material causation that which consistently accompanies all these material phases from one creation to another and remain alone when all material phases are annihilated is the one eternal.
So Satyah Punarekaha Paramatmeva Ityaha. That means Adav Antecha Madhyecha Srujya Srujyam Yadanviyat Punah Tat Pratisankrame Yadishyate Tadeva Sat. That means, yes, actually Lord is only there, no one is there actually. Beginning Sadaiva Samedam Agrasid, he is beginning, he is the middle, and he is only ending. So that's why, that means seeing Lord, that means Paramatma everywhere is right. And yeah, so he is only one. Okay, Prabhu, will keep here. बहुत होगा नहीं आज, हाँ 20 तो इसके बाद इजी होगा ना, हाँ 5 adhyayas. Okay, so 16th is saying what? 16th is saying that, so how Lord is only one, how to know that? That he explained. Yes. Only there. And that's why possibility should be there. Yogi is seeing all the time everywhere. So Paramatma only, how it is possible? Because that is a true, that is a fact. Everything is coming from him only, nothing is different from him. And he is the beginning and he is also ending. He is only middle. So that's why they are seeing Paramatma everywhere. He is also is the right thing. So that is said. Shrutihi pratyakshamaitihyam anumanam chatushtayam pramaneshvanavasthana vikalpa savirajyate.
From the four types of evidence, Vedic knowledge, direct experience, traditional wisdom, and logical induction, one can understand the temporary, insubstantial situation of the material world and thus become detached from the duality of this world.
Yeah, there are the 4 kinds of the pramanas are being explained here. So Shruti, Pratyaksham, Aitihyam, and Anumanam. 1 second. Our where is this? अच्छा, Yoga Goswami Krama Sandarbha from 7. Vikalpat Samshayat is telling about this only, yeah, previous sloka. This sloka. Vikalpat, this sloka. Vikalpat samshayat. Samshaya anadritya samshaya ityartha. By neglecting the samshaya, so he is saying pramaneshu anavasthanat vikalpat means because of the doubt. So vikal samshayat. So samshayam anadritya ityartha. Pramaneshu anavasthanat. Pramaneshu anavasthanat means one is not situated, na? So one can understand the temporary insubstantial situations of the material world by which one becomes detached. There are 4 types of evidences. Okay, one can understand the temporary insubstantial situation of material world by which one becomes detached from the duality of this world. संशय अनादृति विकल्पयात् मीन्स संशयात् संशयम अनादृतीत्यर्थः यद्वा तेषु प्रमाणेषु अनवस्थानात् तैः प्रमाणैः सम्बन्धानवगमात् हेतोः विकल्पात् मनि विशेषेण आत्मात्मीयत्वेन कल्पते इति प्रपञ्चात् विरज्यते विरक्त. So what whoever is not properly knowing these 4 pramanas, is only one is improperly situated and he is seeing the variegatedness. So that is indirectly said. That means pramaneshu anavasthanat. That means not being properly situated in these pramanas. So that's why that means taihi pramanaihi sambandha anavagamat. That means not able to understand, because not able to understand. So the pramanas anavagamanat अनवगमनात् हेतोः विकल्पात् विशेषेण आत्मात्मीयत्वेन कल्प्यते. So that means then he will be so seeing the things as self and also belonging to self. Iti prapanchat, like this kind of prapancha. So he is getting. So from prapanchat saha virajyeta, then he will be relieved from this. विरज्येत विरक्तः भवति. So that means vikalpyate means visheshena kalpate. That means visheshena means atmatmiyatvena kalpyate, means he is seeing so everything as in connection as a self or the in connection to the self, as a body, as a self, or otherwise in connection to the self he is seeing. Because of what? Because of not properly situated in the pramanas. Because of not able to the pramana is some, that means he is not able to understand his getting the proper understanding about the pramanas. Because of this, so that kind of prapancha will be finished. Virajyate, viraktah bhavati. So one will be virajyate. तत्र श्रुतिः असंगः हि अयं पुरुषः इत्यादि प्रत्यक्षं प्रकाश्य प्रकाशकत्व वैलक्षण्येन सर्वानुभावात् ऐतिह्यं तत्तशास्त्र प्रवर्तक महाजन संप्रदाय प्रसिद्धः अनुमानं यथा अग्नेर दारुणो दाह्यादाह्यकः अन्यः प्रकाश इत्यादि लक्षणं तथा अनुमानं विमतं प्रपंचत्वं प्रपंच समवायश्चात्मनि मिथ्या कदाचिदेव दृश्यत्वात् सुक्तौ रजितत्ववत् समवायवत् इति च सुषुप्त्यादौ न दृश्यते इति कदाचित् ग्रहणं तदुक्तम् आदावन्ते च मध्ये च इति. Simple actually. So he explained the 4 pramanas. What is the Shruti he explained? So Shruti pramana. Shruti means what? So Shruti is asangaha. Asangaha. He ayam. Purushaha ityadi what is that? It is clearly stated that everything emanates from asangaha ityadi. That means asango hyayam purusha ityadi. This example is given. Shruti means Vedic statements. This purusha, that means Supreme Lord, is asangaha, is completely detached from everything. So this kind of statements you will be hearing from the Vedas. So those are known as Shruti. Pratyaksha means prakashya prakashakatva vailakshanyena sarvanubhavat, which is the experience of everyone. Everyone is experiencing. That means one is illuminated and one is illuminator. Like eyes are illuminating the objects. This object is the prakashya, mobile. Eyes are the illuminator. So by this you are experiencing the objects. The experience is known as pratyaksham. Aitihyam means the knowledge which is coming from the sampradaya, the sages parampara, where those sages are following the scriptures. So sages who are following the scriptures in their disciplic succession, knowledge is transferred, and this is known as aitihyam. Anumanam means yatha agnehe darunaha dahyat dahakah anyah prakasha iti ityadi lakshana. So anumana you all know. So that we already discussed, yatra yatra dhumah tatra tatra vahini, and so on. So these are the different pramanas. Tata anumanam vimatam prapanchatvam. Prapancha samavayascha atmani. Now the prapanchatvam, mani prapancha samavayascha atmani mitya kadachiteva drishyatvat sukto rajitavat samavayavat iti cha sushuptyado na drishyate iti kadachit grahanam taduktam. So but what is happening here? So here one is seeing all the prapancha in him. Prapancha samavayascha atmani mitya. Anyway, this is very technical. We'll go to next. If you want to say this, it will take little more explanation. Vishwanath is writing very clearly. Na? Anumanam jagadadi sarvakalikam adyantavatvat iti evam chaturshu pramaneshu satsu anavasthanat sarvakalika avasthanam avasthana abhavad hetoho vikalpyat means sargadi bhogamayat dvaita prapancha. So here Vishwanath is saying clearly, whoever is not properly situated in these four pramanas, he will be in this prapancha, and that prapancha one will be relieved from that prapancha by what? By knowing that Ishvara is everything. So that is said here actually. Karmanam parinamitvat avirinchada mangalam vipaschinashwaram pashe adrushtam drushtavat.
An intelligent person should see that any material activity is subject to constant transformation, and that even on the planet of Lord Brahma there is the simply unhappiness. Indeed, a wise man can understand that just as all that he has seen is temporary, similarly, all things within the universe have a beginning and an end.
Yeah. An intelligent person should see that any material activity is subject to constant transformation. Yes. Nanu sargadinam sarvakalika sukha dukkatva bhavepi kvachit kalika sukhadatvam astyeva itya. So one may say that, okay, this you are saying this Swarga and other all are Dvaita Prapancha. So that Dvaita Prapancha has to be, that means dualities. This world is dualities. This has to be, so one has to leave this. So one will be saying like this. One should get the detachment from this. But Purupakshi is saying that, hey, but it is giving the happiness for the time being, na? Then why we have to leave? So Sarvakalika Sukhadat, of course, it is not giving the happiness forever, but Kvachit Kalika Sukhadatvat, but for some time it is giving the Sukha. So like that he is saying. Then he is saying, answer is, this sloka is the answer. Karmanamiti. Karmana Parinamitvat. That means all these karmas are transforming. Parinamitvat, parinamatvat, and also the karma is changing. Every time you are changing different activities. Karma parinatvatvad iti yavat avrinchat. That means due to the changes in the karma, you will be getting the different positions. So that's why everything is nashwaram. So sankatatvad amangalam nashwaram cha. So that's why everything is temporary and amangalam. So don't think that you are getting the time being some pleasure, but it is changing all the time and it is inauspicious and also is destructible. He said this. Next, bhakti yoga puraivuktaha priyamanayate nagha punascha katayishyami madbhakte karanam param.
O sinless Uddhava, because you love me, I previously explained to you the process of devotional service. Now I will again explain the supreme process for receiving loving service unto me.
So now here he is explaining, he is going to explain about the Yad Prashtam Tad Bhakti. He asked me the 8th sloka about the Bhakti Yoga. Tad Bhakti Yogancha. He told about here in this till here 18th sloka about the Paramatma. He said Paramatma, everyone should see the Paramatma everywhere. Paramatma is only the one is at the beginning, starting and ending, and also middle. So that's why yogi should see the Paramatma. Tadgnanam he asked na. So that's why Tadgnanam he said till 18. Now what he has to explain? He has to explain the bhakti. So then that bhakti yoga he is explaining here. Yat prashtam tad bhakti yogancha mahad vimurgyam akyahi iti tatraha. So bhakti yoga. What is bhakti yoga? Tadapi tvam srutvapi tatra triptya bhavadeva punah pruchasi. So already I told to you, but still you are asking again. So that's why I will be telling once again. So Priyana, because a lot of places he already mentioned in many places, but still he is saying once again here. Oh Anaga, that means oh aparadhe satyeva tatra pritir hrasati nanyata iti. Oh sinless one, that means why he used the Sambodhan sinless one. So oh Anaga, oh Priya, that means he said, that means whoever is not having the offenses, they are dear to the Lord. That is the understanding you should set. He is saying Anagha means offenseless. That means offenseless person is dear to the Lord. This is the philosophical point you should get. Okay. Next 20th. 28 to 24 altogether. Shraddhamruta katayam Shraddhamruta katayam me Shashvan madanu kirtanam parinishta cha pujayam stutibhistavanam mama adara paricharyayam sarvangairavivandanam madbhakta puja bhyatika sarva bhudeshu manmati madardeshvanga cheshta cha vachacha madguno ranam मय्यर्पणं च मनसः सर्वकामविवर्जनं मदर्थेऽर्थपरित्यागो भोगस्य च सुखस्य च इष्टं दत्तं मृतं जप्तं मदर्थं यद्व्रतं तपः एवं धर्मैर्मनुष्याणाम् उद्धवात्मनि निवेदिताम् मयि सञ्जायते भक्तिः कोऽन्योऽर्थोऽस्यावशिष्यते.
From faith in the blissful narration of my pastimes, constant chanting of my glories, unwavering attachment to ceremonial worship of me, praising me through beautiful hymns, great respect for my devotional service, offering obeisances with the entire body, performing first-class worship of my devotees, consciousness of me in all living entities, offering of ordinary bodily activities in my devotional service, use of words to describe my qualities, offering the mind to me, rejection of all material desires, giving up wealth for my devotional service, renouncing material sense gratification and happiness, and performing all desirable activities such as charity, sacrifice, chanting, vows, and austerities with the purpose of achieving me. These constitute genuine religious principle by which those human beings who have actually surrendered themselves to me automatically develop love for me. What other purpose or goal could remain for my devotees?
Yeah, he is saying here Amrita Rupa ya Katha iti tat Katha. So Shraddham Shraddhamruta Kathayam me Shashvat Madhanu Kirtanam Parinishtacha Pujaya Sativi. So he is asking to put firm faith in the katha. So actually see Amrita Rupa. What kind of katha this? Actually Krishna katha is Amrita Rupa. Is completely is nectarian. So ya katha tat katayah sarvasya amrutatve. It is really a completely nectarian. Amrutatvepi ati madhuryavati rasadi sambandini ityartha. That means what it means? It is katha is completely fully is with the sweetness. It is a sweetness and it is rasadi sambandini. It is connecting with the different rasas. This katha is connecting with the different rasas with the Lord. So that's why. So Shraddha, one should have the Shraddha means Ati Shraddha. That means one should have extremely faith. So Drudha Shraddha, Ati Shraddha. So in the Katha. So with that he should hear Katha. Also Anukirtanam he should also sing. So next Abhyadika Mat Santosha Vishesham Gnatva Mat Pujito Api. So and what else? Mat Santosha Vishesham Gnatva. It is the cause for this Krishna Katha is giving the bliss to the Lord also. So Gnatva, then Mat Pujatah Api Ityardha. So that's why it is worshipped by me. Anga Cheshta Dantadhavana. Next, what I said? Anga Cheshta, where is Anga Cheshta? Okay, Anga Cheshta cha Vasasa. So Anga Cheshta, what is there? Anga Cheshta means one should Dantadhavanadi Dahiga Kriya Api Madarde Masevardam Vachasa Apabramsha Vakyenapi Gita Vandena Mad Gunakhatanam Madarde. So that means even the bodily activities also should be done for the service of the Lord. So for example, cleaning the teeth and so on. So all these bodily activities should be done for the service of the Madarde means Mat Sevardam. That means for the service of the Lord. That means you are cleaning the body to what? To do the service to the Lord. So that's why you are going to clean the body. Such a understanding, such a consciousness one should have. Vachasa means even once one is not able to properly utter, but even it is broken speech, but by that also you should Gita Bandhanena. So Mat Guna Kathan, one should glorify the Lord's qualities. Madarde Madiya Yatrotsavardhe Aparityagaha. So that means Lord's different festivals. So not neglecting that. Ardha Parityagaha. That means using expenditure money, spending money for the festivals and those. Sri Guru Shwadi, Guru Vaishnavadi, Sampadanakaha, or otherwise Sampradhanaka, giving to the charity to the Guru and Vaishnavas and so on. So Yadva Sri Bhajana Virodinaha Ardhasya Upeksha. That means whatever the artha is not useful for the bhajan, that you should leave. Bhogasya, Stri Sambhogadehe Tyaga. So example, any bhoga which is not for the favorable to the devotion, then that you should leave. So example is, so Stri Sambhog, so meeting with the woman. So Sukhasya, that means various devotional items are said. How to understand that is being explained by the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur here. So Sarva, what is that? Vachasa means that you understood. Mayarpanam, Madarte, Artha Parityaga. Artha Parityaga means leaving the Artha. What it means? Leaving Artha means Bhoga, leaving the Bhoga. Example is Stri Sambhoga. So next to Sukhasya, Sukhasya cha Bhogasya cha. Sukhasya means Putra Palanadehe. So Dattam Danam Hutam Brahmana Vaishnava Mukhe Gruta Pakwan Prakshepaha Vaishnave Swaha iti Samskrita Vahni Mukhe. So Tilajya Nikshepo va. So you should understand different other activities also, how devotion. You should understand these as with the devotional mood. Ishtam Dattam Hrutam Japtam Madarde Yad Vratam Tapa Evam Dharmaihi Manushana Uddhavatma Nivedanam. So Mai Sanjate. So giving the feeding, Dhanam means feeding to the Brahmanas, but Brahmana Vaishnava Mukhe Gurtakanna Prakshepaka. So Brahmana Vaishnavas. We should feed to the Brahmana Vaishnavas. Like this, you should. Lord is explaining various devotional items. Yes, devotional items. Next, what he is saying, because that is a question asked by the Uddhava. He is explaining. Yadatmanyarpitam chittam shantam sattvopa brahmitam dharmam gnanam savairagyam aishwaryam chavipadyate.
When one's peaceful consciousness, stained by the mood of goodness, is fixed on the person of good Godhead, one achieves religiosity, knowledge, detachment, and opulence.
So what he said, he is saying that here, ko anyo artha asya avashishyate ityakshepamaya bhagavadukte eva uktalakshana kevala nirguna bhaktir ಜ್ಞಾನಾಂಗತ್ವೇನ ನ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯೇಯ ಜ್ಞಾನಾದ್ಯಂಗಭೂತ ಭಕ್ತಿಸ್ತು ಇತಃ ಅನ್ಯ ಸಾತ್ವಿಕಿ ವರ್ತತೆ ಏವ ತಯೈವ ಸಕಾಮ ಭಕ್ತಃ ಸಾಪೇಕ್ಷಿತಂ ಧರ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಾದಿಕಂ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ನೋತಿ ಇತ್ಯೇವ ಯದಿತಿ. ಸೊ ಯದ್ ಆತ್ಮನ್ಯರ್ಪಿತಂ ಚಿತ್ತಂ ಶಾಂತಂ ಸತ್ವಬ್ರಹ್ಮೋಮಿತಂ ಧರ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂವೈರಾಗ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಚಾವಿಪದ್ಯತೆ. You can use this. Suddha Bhakti can please the Lord. Suddha Bhakti can do one more thing also. You can use this Kevala Bhakti as a limb of Gnana. If you use this as a limb of the Gnana, that means it is an Anga for the Gnana, then what will happen? Gnana Dhyangabhuta Bhakti Hitu Itaha Anya Satviki Vartate. Then that kind of Bhakti is known as Satvik Bhakti. So Satvik Bhakti means not, don't take that Sakshat Bhakti doing for the liberation. That is Satvik Bhakti. Here it is different definition by the Vishwanath. So now, because that will increase, that means here we are using devotion as a limb of Gnana. So by this devotion, what will happen? One will be going to the, once Sattva Guna will increase. Because for him, Bhakti is not prominent, is main. He is seeing Bhakti as a limb of the Gnana, so then that's why it will increase the Sattva Guna. Sattva Upabrahmitam, it is increases the Sattva. If we use it for the, use it as a limb of Gnana. So that is said here. Shantam Chittam Atmani Paramatmani Mai Arpitam Satvikyaha Bhaktya Mad Vishaya Krutam Bhavati Tad Dharmadi Yuktam Bhavati Ityartha. So then if we use the Bhakti as a limb of the Gnana, then it is increases the Sattva Guna, not the giving any love for the Krishna. Okay, that is said here. Next 26. Yadarpitam tad vikalpe indriya paridhavati rajaswalam cha sannishtam chittam vidhi viparyayam.
When consciousness is fixed on the material body, home and other similar object of sense gratification, one spends one's life chasing after material objects with the help of the senses. Consciousness, thus powerfully affected by the mood of passion, become dedicated to impermanent things, and in this way, religion, ignorance, and attachment and restlessness arises.
So if you put your consciousness in the opposite to this, that means yada atma narpitam. If you engage whatever he said, if you engage this, actually, yeah, that is also true. Jiva Goswami's and Vishwanath's definition is same. So you are engaging the bhakti for getting the atmani. Atmani arpitam means self-realization or otherwise so liberation. So then what will happen? That is a sattviki bhakti. So that bhakti will increase the sattva guna. So now yad chitta vikalpe dehado arpitam tat rajaswalam. So sat vishayan paridhavayati asannishtam nishidda vishayasaktam cha bhavati तच्चित्तं विपर्ययं प्राप्तं विद्धि अधर्मं अज्ञानम अवैराग्यम अनैश्वर्यं च प्राप्नोति. So if one's consciousness, one's chitta is engaged in the actually Prabhu 25th गड़बड़ चल रहा है कुछ, एक मिनट. Yes. विश्वनाथ की 25 इंग्लिश क्या है पढ़िए. Yeah.
What result remain to be obtained? The bhakti just described cannot be explained to be bhakti, which is the anga of jnana. Bhakti, which is an anga of jnana, is different from that and has the nature of sattvaguna. By that type of bhakti, a devotee with material desires attain dharma, jnana, vairagya, aishwarya. That is explained in this verse. When the peaceful mind absorbed in me, Paramatma, concentrate on me with Sattvika Bhakti, one achieves Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya and Aishwarya.
Yeah. So here the point, one point I missed. So that means Chittam Atmani means Paramatmani Arpitam. That means engaging his own consciousness or otherwise his mind or heart in Atmani means in Paramatma. So Arpitam, my Arpitam. How to do that? Satvikyaha Bhaktya. Satvikyaha Bhaktya means where Bhakti is the anga of the Gnana. With that kind of Bhakti, what will happen? So my Arpita means offering chitta. Here the main point is, so offering chitta, chitta means chitta. So chitta in Paramatma. How to do this? Through the Satviki Bhakti. That means Bhakti which is limb of, Bhakti which is limb of Gnana. So then what will happen? So by this kind of Bhakti which is limb of the Gnana, so then what is Dharma? Dharma, Gnana will come. One will be religious and one will be getting the knowledge and vairagya and so on. So that means chittam offered in the Lord means, so that is done through the what? Bhakti, which is the limb of Gnana. Bhakti, which is limb of the Anga. Bhakti Gnana Angam. Bhakti is the Gnana Angam. By that, yeah, like that he said. Vatirekam darshati. If this mind, this chitta is engaged in the material objects, vikalpe deha gehado. If it is put in the house, family, and this, then what? Tat rajasvalam sat. So then it will become full of passion. Chitta is influenced by the passion. Then it is a cause for asan nishtam nishiddha vishayasaktam cha bhavati. Then it will get attraction for the abominable things. Adharma, agnanam, avairagyam, anaishwaryam, all these. So it will bring that kind of chitta will bring all those things. Okay. Next. Dharmo madbhakti krutprokto jnanam chaikatmya darshanam guneshwasango vairagyam aishwaryam chani madayah.
Actual religious principles are stated to be those that lead on to my devotional service. Is the awareness that reveals my all-pervading presence. Detachment is complete disinterest in the object of material sense gratification, and opulence consists of 8 mystic perfections such as Anima Siddhi.
Yeah. So in the first case, that means when chitta is engaged in the Lord through the Sattvika Bhakti, that is Bhakti Misra Gnanam. So then what will happen? One will be getting the dharma. Na? So what are those dharmas are being explained here? Dharma, Madbhakti Krut Prokta. So what are those dharma? Madbhakti Krut, Madbhakte Krut Karanam. So yatra vastuni bhave saha dharma. So dharma the nam अन्यतः विलक्षण लक्षणं कृत्वा यमादीनामपि संख्यातः स्वरूपतस्य वैलक्षण्य संभाव्य पृच्छति यम इति पंचमी. So, what is going to happen by this engaging, that means chitta in the Lord? So, dharmadis are manifesting, and also what is dharmadinam? Dharmadinam anyatah vilakshanam. Shuttva yamadinam api sarupatah vailakshanyam sambhavya pruchyati yama iti panchavi. So, he is, what he is saying here. So, dharmadin vyachaste. Dharma iti. Dharmadin vyachaste. Dharma and so. Mad bhakti krut mad bhaktehe krut. Karanam yatra vastuni bhavet sah dharma. That means Lord's bhakti is the cause for which that is known as dharma. That is known as dharma. Dharmadina anyatah. Whatever is not the dharma, so then that is anyatah vilakshanam lakshanam sutva. So yamadhinam api sankyata swarupada vailakshanam sambhavya pruchyati yama iti panchabihi. So here dharma, whichever is the cause, for which bhakti is the cause, so then that is known as dharma. Whichever is produced from the bhakti, so that is known as dharma. That example, someone is doing agriculture for the sake of the Lord, then that is dharma. But someone is doing the agriculture, but he is not doing the for the Lord, then it is just a karma, simply a karma. So that's why anything done for the out of bhakti, then that is dharma. And what is the yama, niyama, yama? These are all different. These are all defined by the Sankhya philosophy in a different way. And he understood dharma and yama, niyama, all these he also wants to know. So to know this, he is going to ask the 5 questions. So actually here, so various questions which are different from the dharma, yamas. Sri Uddhav Vacha, yamah katividah prokto niyamo vari karshan. Kah shama kodama Krishna katitiksha dhriti prabho kim danam kim tava shauryam kim satyam mrityam uchyate kastyaga kim danam cheshtam ko yagnah kacha dakshana पुंसा किंचित् फलं श्रीमान भगो लाभश्च केशव का विद्या ह्री पराका श्री किं सुखं दुःखमेव च कः पंडितः कश्च मूर्खः कः पन्था उपतश्च जगः कः स्वर्गो नरकः कः स्वित् को बन्धुर्दः किं गुरुहं कः आढ्यः को दरिद्रो वा कृपणः कः कः ईश्वरः एतान् प्रश्नान् मम ब्रूहि विपरीतांश्च सत्पते. Okay.
Sri Uddhava said, my dear Lord Krishna, what's the state of the enemies? Please tell me how many types of disciplinary regulations and regular daily duties there are. Also, my Lord, tell me what is the mental equilibrium, what is self-control, and what is the actual meaning of tolerance and steadfastness. What are charity, austerity, heroism, and how are reality and truth to be described? What is remuneration, and what is wealth? What is desirable? What is sacrifice? And what is religious remuneration? My dear Kashava, O most fortunate one, how am I to understand the strength, opulence, and profit to a particular person? What is the best education? What is actual humility? And what is real beauty? What are happiness and unhappiness? Who is learned and who is fool? Who is a fool? What are the true and the false path in life? And what are heaven and hell? Who is indeed true friend and what is one's real home? Who is rich man and who is poor man? Who is reset and who is actual controller of the Lord? O Lord of the devotees, kindly explain these matters to me along with their opposites.
Yeah, so he is asking all these questions, so various questions. So okay, now Krishna is answering. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Ahimsa Satyam Asteyam Asango Hri Sanjaya Astikyam Brahmacharyam Cha Maunam Stairyam Kshabhayam Kshamabhayam Saucham Japastapo Homaha Shraddha Tityam Madarchanam Tirthatanam Paratyeha Tushtiracharya Sevanam Ete Yama Samniyama Ubayor Dvadasha Smritaha Pumsam Upasitastata Yatha Kamam Duhantihi.
The Supreme Person of God said, non-violence, truthfulness, not coveting or stealing the property of others, detachment, humility, freedom from possessiveness, trust in the principle of religion, celibacy, silence, steadiness, forgiveness, and fearlessness are the 12 primary disciplinary principles. Internal cleanness, external cleanliness, chanting the holy names of the Lord, austerity, sacrifice, faith, hospitality, worship of me, visiting a holy place, acting and desiring only for the supreme interest, satisfaction, service to the spiritual master are the 12 elements of regular prescribed duties. These 24 elements bestow all desired benediction upon those persons who devotedly cultivate them.
Yeah, these are Yamanimas. So this is the question. So he asked that Uddhava, Yamas and Nimas. So all these Yamanimas are explained. Ahimsa iti, by these two slokas. So Ahimsa iti Vabhya. So different Yama and Nima, Saucham, Bahya, Abhyantara Chaiti, Dvayam Ataha, Dwadash Nimaha, all the 12 Nimas, Ubayoho, so Shlokayoho, Ye Stitaha Te Yamaha Nimas Yata Yata Vadeva, Kamam Purayanti, Yama Nimo and Mate. So these are going to fulfill all the desires. Vaganmate Vailakshana Sambhaveditya Shankya. So Nivrityartham Etat Prashnottarahi Gnayam. Lord is explaining the various Yamanimas here. So next further he is answering the other questions whatever he asked. Uddhava asked, Samamannishta buddhir dama indriya samyamaha titiksha dukkha sammarsho jihvo pasta jayo dhrutihi dandanyasa param danam kamatyagasta pasmrutam swabhava vijaya shairyam satyam cha samadarshanam anyam cha smrutam vani kavibhih parikirtita karma Akrut. So karma swasangama shaucham tyaga sannyasa uchyate dharma ishtam dhanam runam yagno am bhagavattamaha dakshina gnana sandeshaha pranayama parambalam.
Absorbing the intelligence in me constitutes mental equilibrium, and complete discipline of the senses is self-control. Tolerance means patiently enduring unhappiness, and steady fastness occur when one conquers the tongue and genital. The greatest charity is to give up all aggression towards others. And renunciation of lust is understood to be the real austerity. Real heroism is to conquer one's natural tendency to enjoy material life. And reality is seeing the Supreme Person of God everywhere. Truthfulness means to speak the truth in a pleasing way, as declared by great sages. Cleanliness is detachment in fruitive activities, whereas renunciation is the sannyas order of life. The true desirable wealth for a human being is religiousness. And I, the Supreme Person of Godhead, am sacrificed religious remuneration is devotion to the acharyas with the purpose of acquiring spiritual instructions, and the great strain is the pranayama system of control.
Yeah, there are the, so in this still ending of this chapter, you will be getting the various definitions of these various sadhakas, whatever they have to take up, shama, dhamma, all. So their definitions, yeah, their definitions are clearly explained here. For example, shama, he is starting with the, so shama means what? So the fixing the buddhi, intelligence in the Lord is known as shama. So Manishta buddhitvam vina kevala shantir vigata eva iti indriya samyama. It is, that means all one, shama means controlling the mind. That is possible by what? By fixing in that mind in the Lord. So like this we are seeing the different definitions of the dandanyasa. Dandanyasa means bhuta matrasyeva de drohatyagaha. Dandanyasa means bhuta matrasyeva drohatyagaha, not harming the any living entities. Dhanam means dhanarpana matram tu na kimapi bhogapeksha. That means, so giving the donating the money, but not expecting any enjoyment from that bhoga. So next ekadashi kartika vratado ya vihita saeva tapaha. So tapa means, so doing the ekadashi vratas and kartika vrata and those, that is known as tapa. Not to kruchradi, not the just some hard pain, taking hard pain. So like this we have various kinds of the, and also sunruta vani means satya priyacha yavani saeva natu yathartha bhashana matram tathatve doshatve doshavatam doshakirtanam api prasajyat. So which is should be truthful and also which is pleasing, not just which is just truthful, it should be pleasing also. Tathatve doshatve doshavatam doshakirtanam api prasajyat tasmin cha sati ninda syat sacha satam sotrunam apriya iti tasyaha sruta vani swabhava. That means sunruta, that means is fully Yathartha, it's a truthful, and also it should be pleasing to. Like this. So various kinds of the things are explained here, like Shama, Dhamma, Daya. What is the Daya? So these qualities, Jnanangas, these are all are explained. Next, last set. भोगो मय ईश्वरे भावो लाभो मद्भक्तिरुत्तमः विद्यात्मनि पिताभादो जिगुप्सा हरिकर कर्मसु श्रीर्गुण निरपेक्षाद्य सुखम दुःख सुखात्ययः दुःखम काम सुखापेक्षा पंडितो बंध मोक्षविदु मूर्खो देहाद्यहं बुद्धिः पंथा मन्निगमः स्मृतः उत्पतश्चित्त विक्षेपः स्वर्गसत्त्वगुणोदयः नरकस्तम उन्नाहो बन्धुर्गुरुरहं सखे गृहं शरीरं मानुष्यं गुणाढ्यो ह्याढ्य उच्यते दरिद्रो यस्त्व सन्तुष्टः कृपणो योजितेन्द्रियः गुणेष्वसक्तधीरीशो गुणसङ्गो विपर्ययः एत उद्धवते प्रश्ना सर्वे साधु निरूपिताः किं वर्णितेन बहुना लक्षणं गुणदोषयोः गुणदोषादिशोर्दोषो गुणस्तु भयवर्जितः.
Okay. Actual opulence is my own nature as a person of Godhead, through which I exhibit the six unlimited opulence. The supreme gain in life is devotion service to me. And actual education is nullifying the false perception of duality within the soul. Real modesty is to be disgusted with improper activities, and beauty is to possess good qualities such as detachment. Real happiness.
I am not able to see why.
Real happiness is to transcend material happiness and unhappiness, and real misery is to be implicated in searching for sex pleasure. And is one who freedom bondage, is one who identifies with his material body and mind. The real path in life is that which leads to me, and the wrong path is sense gratification by which consciousness is built. Actual heaven is the predominance of the mode of goodness, whereas hell is the predominance of ignorance. I am everyone's true friend, acting as the spiritual master of the entire universe, and one's home is the human body. My dear friend Uddhava, one who is enriched with good qualities is actually said to be rich, and one who is unsatisfied in life is actually poor. A receptive person is one who cannot control his senses, whereas one who is not attached to sense gratification is a real controller. One who attaches himself to sense gratification is the opposite, a slave. Thus, Uddhava, I have elucidated all of the matters about which you inquired. There is no need for a more elaborate description of these good and bad qualities, since to constantly see good and bad is itself a bad quality. The best quality is to transcend material good and evil.
So Uddhava, so Lord is explaining even further, but very important point, last point he is saying. Are Uddhav kya pagla? So sorry. So, Are Uddhav, so what you are asking this good and bad? I am not at all interested in this, Even that's why I'm also not interested in discussing so much. So because he's saying that, Are, what you are asking? Tat prashnanu srutyaiva prapanchitam tadetacha. So mama priyo nasti. Because you asked these questions, what is good, what is bad, what is guna, and what is dosha. So what is shama, what is dhamma, what is this, what is that. So all I explained, but I don't have any interest. This is a prapancha actually. Good and bad is a prapancha. In this material world, there are so many goods and so many bads are there. And mama prayaha, mama prayo nasti. Surud swahrudyam iti. That means my heart is not there in discussion of these good and bads. That's why he's saying last point. What he's saying? So, kim varnitena bahuna lakshanam gunadoshoho. Gunadosha and dosha. Doshi actually. He is imperfect person who sees all good and bads. Then what is expectation? Then you may ask, oh, without seeing the good and bad, how one can be, that means to do the good. So, but Krishna is saying seeing good and bad is also bad. Is rejected, is not needed. Then what is needed? So spontaneous attraction to the devotional service. Because Jivatma is by nature is what? Is the part and parcel of the Lord. And Ananya Bhakti is very pure. Ananya Bhakti is very blissful, completely filled of bliss. And this Jivatma, without analyzing this material world's good and bad, if it get this Jivatma natural attraction to this Ananya Bhakti, then that is the best. That is the best. After analyzing good and bad in this material world, after doing the vichara, so much vichara, then if you get the attraction, then you decide that I should do Ananya Bhakti, then that is not really a very qualified situation. So like that he's saying, sadhu makshokupegata yetacha sarvam toya gunadoshayoh vivekaya eva aha prushtah tasma tayoh sankshepada lakshanam pravimi shrunvi ityaha kimiti. So gunadoshayoh lakshanam etavadeva. So gunadoshayoh drushi darshanam dosha gunastu to tadu ubhaya darshana rahita swabhava. That means what is the right nature? Not seeing the good and bad is the proper nature. So asyardha. So that means a gnani who reached to the highest, Vishwanath is definition is different. Gnani who reached to the highest platform, so Jivan Mukti, he will never see any good and bad. So that is the highest nature he is saying. Seeing good and bad is a conditioned state. That is not good. So that's why Uddhava. So I'm not having so much interest in discussing this on good bad. So thank you very much. So we'll be finishing this. So thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 11th canto 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Perfection of Spiritual Knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam.
Pranam, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in this aspect, especially the diagram that you have been showing for the last several sessions, and in today's class we heard about the Paramatma aspect as well. So in the chart, where do we position Paramatma?
Yeah, Paramatma. Yes, Paramatma can be here. So you can take here. This is the Karmis. Karmis are coming in association with the sometimes yogis also. So if they are coming in contact with the yogis, then they can. There is one more parallel path to this Ananya Bhakti. So this is the Ashtanga Yoga path you can take. Or otherwise, this Gnani is also coming in contact with the yogis, and then they may start meditating on the Paramatma. That is also possible. In this Gnana Yoga, there are various processes are there, various methods. Meditating on the Paramatma is there, meditating on the Brahman is there. So various techniques are there here also. There also you can see, but you can see one parallel process also like this.
Okay. So one parallel process towards like the Ananya Bhakti, going to reaching to Paramatma also is there.
Yes.
So that path they are following also in the similar way, like how they are doing it as per the Jnana Yoga in terms of.
Here these people have the Ashtanga Yoga Guru, Yama, Nima, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, so Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So like this you will follow.
So the third canto of Kapila Dev, where he is teaching the combination of Ashtanga Yoga with Sravanam Kirtana, is that the process you are talking of Paramatma realization?
This can be used in the Bhakti, can be mixed. So here, so this is also having the varieties of the items in this. If he is coming with the yogi, such a yogi who uses only Bhakti as a anga, so then in his association he will be getting the only Paramatma realization. But there is a chance of yogi who has Bhakti as prominent. So then what will happen? Then that kind of cases, then he will be chances to become doing the yoga Mr. Bhakti he can do. Then he will be getting the but the type of Bhakti will decide what kind of destination he should get. He's also having Prabhu varieties.
Okay. So that means the Paramatma destination, like when we say of Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan as the three features of the Lord. So Paramatma realization is something which happens within the material world. It doesn't happen in the spiritual world, correct?
Paramatma realization means whenever yogis they go to the different muktis they get. They can get the Salokya Mukti, they can get the So,
So that's part of the Vaikuntha. That's part of the Vaikuntha.
yeah. They can get that.
So Paramatma worshippers are those who fix their ideals in Paramatma. They can reach to Vaikuntha planets. That's what you're saying.
They can Paramatma also. Paramatma who are using Ashtanga Yoga, they can get the Salokya, the Muktis also. Depends upon the Bhakti. That means Paramatma yogis, Ashtanga yogis, if they are using Bhakti as a tool, then they will be getting only Sahaja Mukti into Brahman, into the Bhagavan. They are entering and merging into the Bhagavan. And if they are using Bhakti in another way, that means so they are seeing Bhakti and also accepting the abode of the Lord, then they may get the Salokya Mukti. It depends. Many varieties are there. In the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is explained some, and some are explained in the Yoga Mishra Bhakti, in the Kapil Devs, and also it is explained in the 2nd canto.
Fine, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Today's session was really very, very wonderful. Especially the first parts of it, the verse number 8, and then further down in 25. These were very, very notable verses. Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, bro. Yoga I will explain whenever I get time. So situation should come. Maybe in further chapters, if I get, then I will explain that.
I have a natural doubt. Can I ask you?
Hmm.
Which kind of a yogi you are?
Who?
Yourself. Which kind of a yogi you are?
I am a enjoyer, sense gratification. I want to enjoy.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Kind of you.
आयु हमारे बहुत कंटामिनेशन है बस